The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL announced in a statement today that Tom Brady did not violate any NFL rules by wearing a headset in the Raiders coaching booth last night. According to the league, Brady, a minority owner with the Raiders and broadcaster for Fox, is prohibited from going to a team facility for practices or production meetings, but he is allowed to sit in the coach's booth. Brady is not gaining any competitive advantage in the Fox production meetings, says ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I think Tom Brady understands what's professional and moral, and I don't think he's sneaking into the Chiefs facility as a broadcaster, stealing secrets and then dispensing them to the Raiders. The information that he gets, we all can watch the film and see tendencies of players. He's studying a lot of film of a lot of guys.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. Rams coach Sean McVay revealed he tore his plantar fascia during Sunday's win over the Titans. He didn't say whether he'll be wearing a walking boot while it heals. Pivotal MLB matchup coming up tonight on ESPN Radio. Padres and Mets at 6:30 Eastern. Both teams in the thick of the hunt for NL postseason spots.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday. There are 10 teams that are currently sitting at 2-0, but how many of them are as good as their record says they are? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. The great Emmitt Smith next hour. Sean Salisbury in hour 3. We got PFF grades from Saints and Niners, but let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
On Monday, when Brian Kelly met with reporters, so much of Brian Kelly's press conference was dominated by the Garrett Nussmeier torso injury news that there was a pretty significant nugget buried therein that probably got overlooked but bears mentioning and discussing here. If you've listened to this show or me for any length of time, you know that one of my general tenets is that while I do not believe coordinators are beyond reproach, I do not believe that they are flawless and immune from criticism or critique. I also, generally speaking, take a little bit more of a hesitant approach at critiquing or criticizing coordinators and play call because you and I do not know the play. We don't. You don't know what was called. You don't know if it was executed properly. You don't know what was called, why it was called, sequencing, all that sort of stuff. You don't know if someone checked out of it, if quarterback checked out of a play, checked into something else, if they made the wrong read, if someone missed a block. Like, we don't know. There's a piece of that we do not know. So, and part of me has just come over the years to that understanding in talking to so many coaches over the 20 years that I've done this and understanding how little you and I know. Truthfully, like, we don't know. So naturally, LSU starts the way they have. And it has been objectively not good offensively. There's no argument to the contrary. I know Brian Kelly was not happy Saturday after the game with that line of questioning, but I think it's also very fair to look and to realize what the numbers say. Through 3 weeks, you are 117th in the country in rushing offense. You are 113th in the country in scoring offense. You are 62nd in the country in passing offense. You have not been a productive offense through 3 weeks. That is a fair statement. So then the question becomes, why? Why are you not a productive offense? A lot of fans point the finger at Joe Sloan. Now, I'm not sitting here drawing a line in the sand and saying adamantly, Joe Sloan's the best OC, he's the right guy for the job, they're going to win a natty because of him. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's generally more to it than the lowest common denominator, the low-hanging fruit that the fan just likes to throw rotten tomatoes at. It's almost a default. Oh, the OC sucks. That's just the way people often go. And that's not at LSU, by the way. That's everywhere. That it is a common practice to just throw darts at the coordinator. Both sides of the ball, by the way. And in some instances, it's warranted. Matt House was atrocious. Bo Pelini was atrocious. Cam Cameron, I know a lot of people didn't like Cam Cameron, but a lot of that was Les Miles, who they were in lockstep together on what the approach was. So Brian Kelly was asked point blank on Monday his response to the criticism of offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. And I'm going to warn you, a lot of you ain't going to like this.
I had to answer questions of being critical with Blake last year, right? I mean, he is doing what he's asked to do to manage the games the way we need to play. We have a top 10 defense, I believe, in the country. And we need to play to that strength. And so sometimes you have to pull back a little bit here and there. He's being a great coach from that perspective. Because, look, offensive coordinator, they want to score points too. But sometimes I'm, tapping the brakes here a little bit in those situations. Because that's going to be the identity of this football team.
Brian Kelly said in no uncertain terms that Joe Sloan is doing what he is asked to do. Brian Kelly is telling you he is the one tapping the brakes. That the offensive coordinator wants to go, and Kelly, is the one tapping the brakes. And that's being a good coach because that's how they have to win. You can disagree with that. You can disagree with the approach. I could also look at what LSU did a year ago, where they threw it 60% of the time. They were 60-40 pass run. They were not balanced. Cole Kublik came on this show in the summer, and while a lot of us, me included, spent a lot of time criticizing the run blocking a year ago, Cole said, how can you expect them to run if you don't run? You have to give them the opportunity to establish the run. In having a lot of conversations over this offseason, it is very clear that there is a mandate coming from Kelly and just within this offense that they are going to commit to running the football more. And they did that on Saturday night as well. And they've done it so far through 3 games. They're about 54% passes right now. So about 54-46 pass run. So they're still throwing it more than they run it, but it's much more semblance of balance. And remember, they have used a lot of the jet sweep action with the little shovel pass, the tap passes. Those count as passing statistics, but really it's an extension of the run. So take that for what it's worth. What for me is going to be fascinating is to see if and or when they do start to open this up. Because another thing Brian Kelly was asked, and this is part of my contention of why the offense has been what it has been through 3 weeks. I think you have faced 2 elite defenses in Clemson and Florida. Maybe by the end of the season, we'll look and say those are the 2 best defenses you faced all year. Maybe. And you've got a new offensive line. So we've talked about LSU not stretching the field, throwing the ball deep. I believe part of that certainly is you're protecting a young, inexperienced offensive line by getting rid of the ball quickly. Not exclusively, and we've gone over the Pro Football Focus grades. And this offensive line has done much better as a pass blocking unit than as a run blocking unit. Obviously, you see that. But also, if Nuss is getting rid of the ball quickly, you don't have an opportunity to give up sacks and pressures and hurries and TFLs and all that sort of stuff. So Brian Kelly was also asked, is a young offensive line, is protecting a young offensive line preventing you from stretching the field? Here's what he said.
No, I really, in answering your question earlier, I'm really pleased with our protection. I think it's a strength. The two tackles are really good. Their kick slide, their ability to stay square, those were really good ends. I mean, they're SEC top-tiered players on that defensive side of the ball. That's a rugged group, as good as we're going to see. They're rugged. Clemson was really good, too, and we protected the quarterback well. So it's not really about an issue, Koki, of we don't feel like we can protect him. I think it's more about, I think we're trying to be perfect, and we don't have to. Catch it, get it out, let's go. And a little bit more of that, I think, is what we should be about, and then we will be.
By the way, against Florida, and again, we went over these numbers already, but against Florida, if you look at the pass blocking stats, LSU's offensive line was good. Braylon Moore graded out an 83. Tyree Adams an 82.9. Paul Mabenga 75.7 as a pass blocker. Remember, a year ago, he was the one who gave up 6 pressures in that game. Like, he was dramatically improved. Weston Davis' pass block grade was at a 65. Josh Thompson was at a 65. The run blocking grades were where you had problems. And so that's a good thing. But I also do believe there's a little bit of you're playing it safe. And now eventually you're going to have to open this thing up. Now, one thing Brian Kelly said there at the end is sometimes you're thinking too much. And one of the questions he was also asked was about tempo. If maybe going tempo is something they should look at more, although you do run the risk of putting your defense out there even longer. But one of my contentions has been offensively, I do think they are doing too much. I think a lot of the pre-snap penalties is because you have so many motions and so many checks and all the sort of stuff you're doing. Sometimes you just need to go, call a play and go. And Brian Kelly said as much on Monday.
We felt the same way, right? That maybe we were trying to be too perfect, right, in our play calls. Let's just go play. Let those guys get the ball in space and play. And the same thing with Garrett. You know, doing a little bit too much, checking every play. He's so smart. I mean, he can manage the whole thing, but sometimes, you know, less is more. And I think as you continue to go, you know, into the 4th week, we're developing what that identity should look like from an offensive standpoint.
So why is LSU's offense struggling? You've got a lot of things at work. The very easy, low-hanging fruit narrative is blame the OC, which I know a lot of you are going to do, and there's nothing I can say that'll move you off of that point. So whatever. But I think there's a lot at work. Garrett Nussmeier with whatever the tweak and torso stiffness is, whatever. A young, inexperienced offensive line that you're trying to protect in spots by getting the ball out quickly, I think is part of it. The inability to run the football, be it because your offensive line is, I think they're a talented physical group. I just think a lot of this is they're still learning as 5 to play as 1. And a lot of these different components that you're trying to meld together here against really good defenses make it challenging. And you'd rather have those learning experiences in a win than in a loss. So against Clemson and against Florida, I think they did exactly what they had to do to win the game. Now, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to say this again. You're going to hear me say this a lot over the next 2 weeks. Southeastern, who you are light years better than at every position, and Ole Miss, who just gave up over 500 yards on their home field to Arkansas. If your offense doesn't get going against those two defenses, then I am going to be running to the panic button. Because unless if you can't figure out how to move the ball against those two teams, if you haven't improved against those two defenses, then you've got real, serious, legitimate questions that are probably going to limit what you're seeing. It's going to lower your ceiling. But teams are allowed to improve. And I think this team, this offensive line, this offense will continue to improve and get better. I can't help but think how dramatically different it would have been if week 1 you played Southeastern and then you played, I don't know, Ole Miss or Vanderbilt, and you had more of an opportunity to get better throughout that first month as opposed to being challenged the way you were just to make sure you won the game. Look at the contrary. A team like Notre Dame, who's sitting there at 0-2 right now, challenged themselves with 2 really tough opponents and lost. At Miami, close game. home against Texas A&M, close game, but they're sitting there 0-2. Brian Kelly's team is 3-0 because they did what they had to do to win those games. Didn't look pretty, I get that, but they're 3-0. And now you have an opportunity in this spot on your schedule with the next 2 weeks in a bye to exhale a little bit and to start to improve offensively and put some of that improvement to work. See if they can do it. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Of course, Mockler Beverage, great partners of the LSU Tigers and have been for such a long time. They've been great community partners for 4 decades. You could hardly go to any community event, any fundraiser, any church or school fair without seeing all the Mockler products. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Look for the officially licensed Bud Light cans and aluminum bottles with the LSU logo. Of course, it's a white can this year, which is a hat tip, an ode to LSU's tradition of wearing white at home. And if you're going to be in the Dome or watching the Saints at your house, make sure you got plenty of ice cold Bud Light as well. You can find the black can with the gold fleur-de-lis on it. They're all over to great local retailers. Whatever you do, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's After Further Review. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Speaking of the New Orleans Saints, Pro Football Focus grades are in for Saints and Niners. What are the big takeaways? We'll get to that next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Buy local, shop local. Hey, if you get by, I always encourage you to get by the Clegg's Facebook page. They do a fantastic job of updating their inventory whenever they get new items in. And maybe most importantly right now is they've got all of their pumpkins piled up at all 4 locations. They got the pumpkin displays up at all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. So you want to decorate your front porch, your back patio, maybe your office, your school classroom, whatever it may be. They've got a great selection of pumpkins and hay bales and squash and gourds and corn stalks and wheat stalks and witches and scarecrows and all that sort of stuff if you need all of your fall decor. So get on by Clegg's Nursery and pick up your fall decor today. So buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling along, Tuesday edition of AFR. Remember, every LSU home game, they'll have the LSU John Deere tractor out there near the PMAX. You're going to buy and see our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll go around the SEC in less than 15 minutes from right now. Emmitt Smith next hour. Yes, that Emmitt Smith, cool event in Baton Rouge for great cause. We'll tell you about. Sean Salisbury will be here in hour number 3. Every week after the Saints play, we like to run through the Pro Football Focus grades, and I always give this caveat anytime I ever talk about PFF. Pro Football Focus is a metric. It's not the metric. It's something to consider. It can sometimes confirm or disconfirm your eye test. I think it's most beneficial for you and me and really everybody who, when we watch the game, we watch the ball. That's how we're trained. We're keeping an eye on the ball. The quarterback, the running back, the receiver. We're not necessarily watching what the left guard is doing on a sweep to the right side of the formation, right? We're not necessarily watching what the defensive back is doing when there's, on the left side, when there's a run to the right side. We're watching the ball. So Pro Football Focus compounds all this data, compiles all this data, spits out numbers, and it's something to look at and to consider. So, my contention on this season all along, as you've heard me say, is I am looking at this Saints season not at the win-loss record, because I know it's not going to be good. They're going to win a few games along the way. Fine. That'll be fun. Good for them. Want them to have that opportunity to celebrate wins because they practice hard, work hard. They're getting paid. But, of course, you want them to have the payoff. But it's more about building for the future. So when I look at the Pro Football Focus grades for the game against San Francisco, for example, like Jack Stoll was the highest graded Saints offensive player, but he only played 18 snaps. The second highest graded player on the offensive grade from PFF was Spencer Rattler. Rattler had a 75.5 grade in his 71 snaps. And what that tells me is it confirms that even though he threw the ball 34 times and only had 207 pass yards, he had 3 touchdowns, but he didn't turn the ball over, and he protected the football. And what I think that confirms is Spencer Rattler isn't losing you the game. Like Spencer Rattler, his record as a starting quarterback is 0-8, but you don't put all of that on Spencer Rattler. Certainly not the games from a season ago. But in these 2 games so far, Spencer Rattler hasn't done anything to cost you either of these games, which is encouraging. He's playing within himself, and I think as he does that, he's going to continue to grow and develop and get better. And we'll find out in time if he's a guy that can be counted on as a starting quarterback in the NFL, or if he's going to be a guy that's going to be a career backup and a guy who you can jump in, like what Jake Browning's doing right now in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is hurt. They're going to call on Browning to keep the train on the tracks until Burrow comes back, like Teddy Bridgewater did back in New Orleans in 2018. Drew Brees goes out, Bridgewater comes in, wins his 5 starts around a good team. Like that's the kind of Mac Jones last week in San Francisco. Is that Spencer Rattler's ceiling, or can he be a starter? That's what we're going to learn kind of throughout this. The most concerning thing is when you look at the opposite end of the spectrum. If you look at the lowest graded Saints players on the offensive side of the ball for the game against the 49ers, the lowest graded player was Cesar Ruiz with a overall grade of 43.3. As a matter of fact, your 3 lowest graded players on the offensive side from the bottom up were Cesar Ruiz, Kelvin Banks, Eric McCoy. This is one of the things that will drive you mad, because the 3 guys I just rattled off, Cesar Ruiz, Kelvin Banks, Eric McCoy, you have so much invested in them. Cesar Ruiz was a first-round pick. Kelvin Banks, the 9th overall pick. Eric McCoy was a second-round pick, but he was your highest pick in that year's draft, and you've paid him like a top center in the NFL. They've got to be better, especially playing in front of a second-year quarterback who's trying to find his way. You've got to be able to rely on those guys to be better, and they just flatly weren't. Now, the other side of that is Taliesin Fuaga deserves a gigantic hat tip because as you look at the overall grades, Stoll, Rattler, Olave, Shaheed were the top 4, but Stoll is sort of an asterisk. He only played 18 snaps. And then it's Taliesin Fuaga. And his overall grade was only a 69.8. But remember, that dude's out there. He didn't even practice last week. He's running around with a bum knee. Didn't even practice last week. And he's your highest graded offensive lineman. As a matter of fact, Taliesin Fuaga with a bum knee, his run blocking grade was an 87.1. When I keep saying I'm looking for cornerstones upon which you can build for the future, that's what I'm talking about. On a day where that dude doesn't practice, still gets his behind out there, starts, plays all 71 offensive snaps on a bum knee and is your highest graded offensive lineman, hell yeah, bro. That's what I'm talking about. The anti-Trevor Penning, the anti-Cesar Ruiz, a guy that's reliable, going to be out there and give you everything he's got, and is actually going to be a serviceable to really good offensive player. That's one of those things where you're very encouraged moving forward. By the way, after the game or on Monday when Kellen Moore met with reporters, he did talk about what he saw from Spencer Rattler after watching the game film against the San Francisco 49ers. It's number 5, Muse.
I thought Spence, it took him a little bit to settle in. We had the big play to Shaheed. Took a few plays, kind of started off a little bit slow. But I thought once he got settled in there, he played really decisive. And so, certainly there's going to be some missed ops here and there. But love the way he battled. He made some critical plays with his feet and some third downs and fourth and one as well. I think he's certainly making progress. He's getting better each and every week. I love his approach to this thing. Ultimately, us collectively fell short again. And so we just got to find a way to get it done.
The opposite end, of course, is Cesar Ruiz. Here was Kellen Moore, on what he's seeing from the former first-round pick. Who stinks?
I thought Cesar battled each and every game. I thought he did certainly some good stuff. I think, 97 got inside a couple times in some inside technique situations, and they were able to, with their front structure, they got some really good rushers throughout that entire line, and he got a little bit of edges a couple times, and so Cesar's battle. He's right in there with those guys. I feel have all the confidence in the world that he'll just keep getting better each time.
If you have all the confidence in the world that he'll keep getting better, then your confidence friend is misplaced. I know he's got to say what he's got to say, but this doesn't lie. Against Arizona, Cesar Ruiz's run blocking grade was a 32. Against San Francisco, his run blocking grade was a 46. For the season, his grade is a 34. When you look at his career, going back to 2020, these are his season run blocking grades. 50 for the whole season starting in 2020. 57, 52, 51, 46. Last year was a 64. Don't know what happened there. And right now, he's at 34. Like, you have a large enough sample size now for a man who has played 2,068 snaps in the NFL that he is not a good starting player. He is arguably the worst starter. He's a starting player. He's an NFL player, but he is arguably the worst starter at his position in the NFL. That's one where when you're looking for cornerstones upon which you can build the future, that is not one you're looking toward. Now, if you flip it over to the other side of the ball, your highest graded defender was Chris Rumph. Obviously, he had the big sack in the game, which was awesome to see. With the forced fumble, he graded out overall at an 80.2. Did Rumph. No surprise, Demario Davis among your starters was the highest graded. But this is the other thing. Remember, as we're talking about here, we want to see, are you building this organization around players that you could build cornerstones? So Rumph, Demario Davis, your third highest rated player on Pro Football Focus was Jonas Sanker, making his first career start in his second NFL game for an injured Julian Blackmon. What do you have at safety? There's Jonas Sanker as your third highest player defensively. An overall grade of a 70. His run defense grade was 69.9. His tackling grade was a 64.4. In coverage, he was a 65.3. He made 6 tackles in the game. He only had 1 missed tackle. But the bottom line is, man, you're talking about a guy who was good. Not great. Not a Hall of Famer, not an All-Pro. Was good in his first career start. Good with the opportunity to get better and to be great. There's not a lot else that stands out really on this. Isaac Gadam had an 80 for a tackling grade, but his overall grade was a 44. Again, when you start to look to see can these guys prove to be starting caliber players, Isaac Gadam, the answer is very clearly no. He's not an NFL starter. He's a backup. He's a special teams guy. He can give you depth at corner and in the secondary, which is what he gave New Orleans. San Francisco gave him a contract. They very quickly realized he ain't that. Now he's back in New Orleans. We need to see more from Kool-Aid McKinstry. His coverage grade was a 62. He was the 8th highest graded defender, overall grade of a 59.5. Kool-Aid in the game was targeted 3 times. He allowed 2 receptions for 66 yards. So that's got to be better. That's the type of guy who you need to see higher on that list. So, again, it's not the metric. It's a metric. It's something to consider when we look at Pro Football Focus and how they evaluate the New Orleans Saints. But I just can't help but think of guys like Ruiz at the bottom. Another one who honestly shouldn't be immune from criticism is Brian Brzee. Brzee gave you a good interior pass rush a year ago, but in this ball game, he graded out at a 55. 11th on the defensive side of the ball. That's a former first-round draft pick. You just expect more out of the guys that you have that much invested in. And this year, for me, is going to be all about finding those guys who continue to show up in a big way as guys that you feel like you can build around, not for this year, but next year, for the next 5 and 10 years. Hat tip to Jonas Sanker. Really good performance there week 1. And major hat tip to Taliesin Fuaga as well, playing with a bum knee. All right, we're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU together. We roar. Just yesterday, I was over at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. Eric and I took Drew over there. He had his neurology appointment. He goes every 6 months to see Dr. Shah, his neurologist. So, listen, if it's the standalone children's hospital, if it's, for me, my primary care physician is Dr. Curtis Chastain at the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. Maybe it's heart health or cancer services or stroke or pediatrics, or any type of specialty or subspecialty that you may need. Our Lady of the Lake, part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, continues expanding healthcare. In the greater Baton Rouge alone over the next year, they're investing $250 million in facility upgrades. That's what it means to be a championship health partner. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Glad to have you all aboard with us. Remember, you can always email the show. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Or you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. We'll knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC. And could South Carolina soon be looking for a new head football coach? We'll give you the latest odds on Shane Beamer following his dad as the new head coach at Virginia Tech. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Of course, Watermark Baton Rouge, the premier hotel property in Baton Rouge. That building about to celebrate its centennial next month in October. So really excited as we get closer to that to be able to tell you about all the really cool events they're going to have to commemorate that momentous occasion. 100 years that building's been there, the original Louisiana National Bank building. And what they've done is taken this beautiful piece of history, this time capsule in downtown Baton Rouge, and maintained so much of the historical integrity. The original marbling, a lot of the original art that's in the lobby that you'll notice whenever you go in. Even when you go down that marble staircase into the basement where the bank vaults were, they've hollowed out those bank vaults and created private dining and private meeting space. It's a remarkable thing to see if you've never been to Watermark Baton Rouge for a meal, for a weekend stay, or just have a cocktail in their lobby bar. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system. from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
These fields in the hot summer sun, over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket full of chicken and a big cold jug of sweet tea. I make a little room and she climbs on up, open up a
Hey, Muse, just let me know when we're back.
Yeah, no, you're back. You are back. Currently live.
No, when we're back on the air.
Right now, currently live on air.
You mean coming up in a few minutes?
Like in this very moment in the present. Right now.
Like right now?
Right now.
I don't believe you. All right, since Muso says we're back on air, I don't really believe him, but we'll just go ahead and play like we are anyway. Welcome aboard. Glad you're here. Tuesday's AFR. Feeling good. We got Emmitt Smith here next hour. He's working with an organization battling the opioid epidemic in this country, which, I mean, for guys accomplished as Emmitt Smith to be at this point in his life, to find something that's very meaningful to him and to go to college campuses around the country and try to encourage young people and educate young people, I think that's fantastic. So, and also happens to be a former Florida Gator. So what a time to be coming on the show just a few days after at LSU. Beat the hell out of Florida. Take that, Emmitt Smith. Anyway, convo with Emmitt Smith coming up here in about a half an hour from right now. But seriously, we do appreciate Emmitt Smith for making time. It's pretty cool, man. You get to talk to the NFL's all-time rushing leader, even if it's for 10 minutes. You know, of course, we'll take it. So, all right, we're glad to have you hanging out with us here on AFR. One of the things that we have got to keep an eye on, of course, you know, Brent Pry was fired as the Virginia Tech head coach. He and Deshaun Foster were let go at UCLA. So the two head coaching positions are now open in college football. And one, notably Virginia Tech, could end up having a pretty significant impact on the Southeastern Conference. We published earlier today at Louisiana Sports.net the odds for the Virginia Tech job. And actually, Shane Beamer has the second best odds. John Gruden, because of course he is listed as the favorite to be the next coach at Virginia Tech. I don't know that I believe that. I mean, John Gruden may want to coach again, and maybe he'd be interested in that job just if he's interested in coaching again, just to coach again. But right after John Gruden at 4-1, that's plus 400, is Shane Beamer at 5-1. So Shane Beamer has the second best odds, followed by Justin Wilcox, Ryan Silverfield, Alex Golish, and Will Stein. Then Jimbo Fisher, Charles Huff, John Summerall, Brian Newberry, a few others down the line. But the point is, Shane Beamer has the second best odds to leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech. Now, I will remind you, he played at Virginia Tech under his dad, where he was a receiver and a long snapper in the mid to late 90s. He coached at Virginia Tech from 2011 to 2015, where he was the assistant head coach and the running backs coach, and has been the head coach at South Carolina since 2021. So this is his fourth year as the head coach at Carolina, where he is 31-23 as the head coach of the Gamecocks. Now, you might say, why would you leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech? You might say, why would you leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech?
Why would you leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech?
That's a good question, Muse. I mean, South Carolina's in the SEC, right?
It is true.
A lot of resources.
Yes.
More money.
Yes.
Being a member of the SEC than in the ACC, which might not even exist much longer.
That's a great point.
We'll see. Why would you leave?
Why would you?
Well, you got the emotional tie.
It's true.
His dad having coached there. But you also have a much clearer path into a 12 and maybe 16-team playoff, as you're seeing right now. All the expectation at South Carolina coming into this year, and they're falling flat on their face. To build something sustainable there is not realistic in the Southeastern Conference. You cannot build a contending team in the SEC at South Carolina. I'm not saying you can build a national title contender at Virginia Tech, but you can build an ACC contending team at Virginia Tech, which means you can get in the playoff. You're never doing that at South Carolina. So at least not ever on a consistent basis. So it wouldn't shock me, quite honestly, if the emotional tie and the opportunity to be in a more winnable league was an allure for Shane Beamer to leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech. Something will follow as they move through this process. Hey, we're brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Drink Evamore. Thanks to everybody who's tried Evamore. I mean, I get it. A lot of times you just go into the gas station or the grocery store or whatever, and you grab the bottle of water that you're always used to grabbing. But we've worked really hard these last couple of years to help educate people on the benefits of natural artesian water out of a natural artesian well right there on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain in Covington. It's piped. The water's pumped right out of these ancient underground aquifers and right into the bottle. Only the sediment from the ground is filtered out. You get a natural product right in the bottle. It's a healthier alternative. They don't make any medical claims, but I would encourage you, go read the reviews of people who have talked about how incorporating Evamore into their diet has helped them cure things like indigestion, things like that. Just learn more about putting natural, healthy things in your body, what that could do for you. And this is a great Louisiana product as well. EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Speaking of, Shane Beamer gave an update on his quarterback, Lenora Sellers, who left the game against Vandy in the second quarter with a non-disclosed injury. Beamer would not confirm or deny that Sellers suffered a concussion, but we'll see how it goes throughout the course of this week in practice. But very little details so far, but something worth watching this week.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Diego Pavia's attorney had a hearing at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit trying to get a 7th year for Pavia. Now, of course, we all know it's the Pavia rule with the JUCO eligibility and all that stuff. For whatever it's worth, on the day that his attorney appeared in court, Pavia tweeted a hat emoji and then "This is my last year" with a handshake emoji. So perhaps Diego Pavia is tipping his cap to college football, regardless of what that ruling may be.
The Florida Gators.
Defensive lineman Caleb Banks' foot injury is considered long-term. That is according to Billy Napier. Would not offer a specific timeline, but asked if the recovery would be long-term, and he said, yes, sir. Banks made his debut Saturday against LSU, played 29 defensive snaps, and did not record a statistic.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Brent Venables revealed that R. Mason Thomas has lost his targeting appeal, meaning the defensive lineman who was ejected in the game against Temple will sit the first half of this weekend's game against Auburn. He did set new career highs a year ago in tackles, TFLs, and sacks, with 9 sacks last year as a junior. He is a major defensive force for Oklahoma, who missed the first half of the big game this week against Auburn.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas's AD, Hunter Yurachek, was brutally honest when he talked about his team's opportunity to win a national championship. As a matter of fact, can we play it? This was Hunter Yurachek when asked about his team's ability to win a national championship.
There's a big canyon within the SEC where we sit at a $181 million budget. There's multiple schools that are over $300 million. I know the focus is on football, and we all want to win in football, but at the same time, those schools have been outspending us for the last decade, and we've still won more SEC championships among more sports than any school in the SEC, and I think we're set up to win a national championship in men's basketball moving forward. We know we're set up to win a national championship in baseball moving forward, and I think we're set up in several other sports to win a national championship. Football, where we are right now, we're not set up to win a national championship. I'll just be brutally honest with that, but I think we're set up to compete really well in the Southeastern Conference, especially now with the new revenue sharing model. We'll see if the boosters respond and open up their pockets. But by the way, winning a bunch of SEC titles in track and field doesn't allow you to keep your job.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
And 4-star linebacker JaMychal Garrett has committed to Ole Miss. He's from right here in Baton Rouge. He's actually from Paul's hometown in Central. Hey, Paul, why don't you keep those Central kids home? Why are you letting dudes from your hometown go to Ole Miss, Paul? I blame you. LSU, Clemson, Missouri, Tennessee, Southern Cal, Vandy among the schools recruiting him. Number 253 in the country, the 15th best linebacker. He had been committed to Auburn, decommitted back in June. 9th best player in Louisiana, JaMychal Garrett, now committed to Ole Miss. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. I love telling you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Hey, remember, a lot of people, depending on where you live, your HOA may require wood windows. And you live in South Louisiana where it's wet and humid, and a lot of times wood windows rot, so every 4, 5, 6 years, you're replacing them. Does that sound familiar? What if I told you you could install wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty? What did you say? Wood windows with a lifetime warranty. See, at Relief Windows, they offer better products. They actually have a service department, which a lot of companies don't have a dedicated service department. Not the guy that measures or sells, like a dedicated service department that all they do is service their customers. They're the best. Oh, and a true lifetime transferable warranty. Because if a company is only a couple of years old, how do you know if that lifetime warranty is going to hold up in 5, 7, 10 years? Are they going to be around? You don't have to worry about that with Relief Windows. Windows door siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. It is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Tuesday edition, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We will circle back. We missed it yesterday. We will circle back to LSU's PFF grades coming up. We've touched on some of them, but we'll do a full segment on it coming up after the top of the hour. Sean Salisbury coming up in hour number 3. Emmitt Smith next hour. We got a ton to do. By the way, Kirk Herbstreit has laid out who he feels is the number 1 team in the country. You're going to want to hear this. We'll get to it next on AFR.
AFR.
Do you have a nagging injury? You hurt your shoulder years ago and it just always bothers you. Or maybe you had surgery recently and the recovery is taking a long time. Maybe you've got a chronic issue like I have with back pain. I have an option for you. Something that you should at least at bare minimum explore. It's BPC 157. It's a pentadecapeptide. It means it's 15 different amino acids. And they offer it at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You mean the ED clinic? Yes. It's a funny name. It's a funny logo. I get all that. And they do ED treatments. But that's only a part of what they do at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. They do hormone replacement therapy. They could do hair replacement. They do all different types of things. But they also have so many groundbreaking peptide therapies. NAD+, which would be amazing for energy and literally getting you to the cellular level younger. And BPC 157, which has been noted for recovery. Learn more. YourGoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We ride back and forth till we run out of light. Take it to the barn.
Wrapping up hour number one. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Kirk Herbstreit does a podcast called Nonstop. Why not? Lots of podcasts out there. Herbie does a lot. Might as well have a podcast. He gave his opinion to who he believes is the number one team in the country, and wouldn't you know it, it's your Fighting Tigers of LSU.
I look at LSU, and maybe it's because I saw them in person when they played Clemson. I saw their defense, and I just thought, Blake Baker, I think, is one of the top defensive coordinators in the country, and they made some intentional adjustments to their defensive front, especially on the ends, and in the secondary, especially at corner. And I think we've been talking, I think it's one of the big stories in the sport after the first 3 weeks is how good their defense is. They had 5 picks last week. Some of that was Lagway. Some of that is really good LSU defense. So I got them at 1.
How about that? Herbie has LSU as the number one team in the country. So eye test matters, but sometimes it's interesting to measure eye test against computers, which is why I've often said that, well, I think everybody knows how I feel about the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. If at this point you do not know how I feel about the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, then you are new. You're just new. And welcome. I love you. I'm so glad that you're here. But you're new. The SP Plus rankings from Bill Connolly, this is a metric, right? This is just computer algorithm, spit out a number. Bleh. They've got Penn State number 1, Oregon number 2. Paulie, would you mind pulling this up? Thank you. Let's look at this list together. Let's see. Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State 3. They got Alabama number 4. Did they lose a game?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Looked pretty bad losing that game too, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, they lost 2. They're 6. Oklahoma, 7. Georgia. Wait, Georgia. Didn't Georgia beat Tennessee?
Georgia did beat Tennessee.
So Georgia's 8, but Tennessee 6?
Yeah,
even though
apparently.
they played and Tennessee's rated better than Georgia?
That's what it says.
Got it. Southern Cal, Miami, Missouri,
Oh,
11.
They're undefeated.
Who have we left out already? Texas Tech, 12. We're missing somebody.
LSU.
Indiana, 13.
Oh, they've been tested.
Texas, 14.
Oh.
Utah, Illinois. Oh, there they are. Number 17 in the country. Your Fighting Tigers of LSU. It's why we cannot have one singular metric, be it human or computers, to make determinations about the outcome in the playoff of college football, because you get stupidity like this. It is after further review. I'm going to grab a break, come back. Great LSU from PFF next.
AFR.
ARCCO. ARCCO. ARCO. ARCCO.com. ARCO.com. ARCO Power Systems. Scone, what is that? Glad you asked. ARCO Power Systems, pretty amazing company that I've become acquainted with here in recent weeks as they become a new partner of ours here on After Further Review. I've told you we talked about generators for years, but this is not your residential generators. ARCO Power Systems provides industrial power. So these are generators, permanently installed generators, portable generators for rental use, generator service for businesses. Power goes out. What does that mean for your business? You can't be offline. It's not an option. Well, how do you get power? ARCO. ARCCO.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL, in a statement today, announced that Tom Brady did not violate any NFL rules by wearing a headset in the Raiders coaching booth last night. According to the league, Brady, a minority owner with the Raiders and broadcaster for Fox, is prohibited from going to a team facility for practices or production meetings, but he is allowed to sit in the coach's booth. Brady on a headset in that booth, sort of a bad look, notes our Harry Douglas.
Tom Brady has the game this weekend, Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. Well, guess who the Las Vegas Raiders play coming up next week?
Yep.
They play the Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. So that's the conflict of interest in where people may raise an eyebrow and say to myself, I'm not giving Tom Brady an interview because I don't know what he's taking back to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Bengals signing quarterbacks Sean Clifford and Mike White to their practice squad in the wake of Joe Burrow's turf toe injury. Jake Browning starts in place of Burrow, who's likely out at least 3 months. The Vikings agreed to terms with free agent quarterback Desmond Ridder, giving them a third healthy QB, with starter J.J. McCarthy sidelined with a high ankle sprain anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, there are 10 teams that are currently sitting at 2-0, but how many of them are as good as their record says they are? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. The great Emmitt Smith in 15 minutes from right now. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith is in town for a great cause that he's championing, educating young people against the opioid epidemic. And we're happy to be able to talk football with him for a couple of minutes and shed a little light on something that means a lot to him. So we'll do that and Sean Salisbury in 1 hour from right now. So we are glad to have you hanging out with us here. We did the Saints PFF grades last hour. And one thing that we'll normally do on Mondays, but just the way yesterday fell, we had Gordon in studio with us. We missed the LSU PFF grades from the Florida game. So I want to do that here and take a quick minute. A caveat I always give when we talk PFF, it's a metric, not the metric. It's something to consider. It should not be looked at as a be-all, end-all, like the thing by which everything is measured, standard, and judged. But it's something to consider. A few things on the offensive side that I want to talk about first that just jump off the page when you look at the Florida game. Highest rated player offensively for LSU for the second time in 3 weeks is Garrett Nussmeier. And I know there's a lot of people that are displeased with the offense right now. And I get that. I do. we all, me included, we all had grand expectations for this offense. And be it Nuss's torso, protecting the offensive line, conservative play call because of how they're structuring things, just going against really good defense, whatever, it hasn't looked good. But Garrett Nussmeier was the highest graded player on Pro Football Focus in this game with a 76.9 overall grade. Followed by Caden Durham, Xavion Thomas, Braylon Moore, Paul Mabenga. Now, don't lose sight of that because that's something we got to spotlight. Braylon Moore graded out at a 68.6. I'm not telling you that's incredible, but for a guy that a week prior suffered a high ankle sprain, and yes, Brian Kelly confirmed Monday it was a high ankle sprain, like we told you last week, suffered a high ankle sprain, was limited throughout the week, taped it up, shot it up, went out there and gave it his all, and was your highest graded offensive line. Now, you could say that's a referendum on the offensive line. I say that's a hell of an attaboy to Braylon Moore for getting out there and gutting it out and getting it done. But how about Paul Mabenga? Braylon Moore's overall grade was a 68.6. Mabenga was at a 64.0. And you may look at that and go, which point? A year ago, and this is to illustrate a point that I often say about players are allowed to improve. Teams are allowed to improve over the course of a year, over the course of a season, over the course of a week, however. 1 year ago against Florida, Paul Mabenga's offensive grade was a 45. On Saturday, it was a 64. I'm not telling you 64, throw a ticker tape parade. What I'm telling you is he was a 45 a year ago. 64 on Saturday night. His pass block grade in Gainesville last year was a 33. On Saturday, his pass block grade was a 75. His run blocking grade a year ago in Gainesville, a 45. Saturday, it was a 61. Last year, he allowed 6 pressures. This year, 0. Hat tip Paul Mabenga. You're going to give criticism where it's warranted, praise when it's warranted as well. And Paul Mabenga, that's a great illustration of how people can improve. So when I get these questions from people, hey man, Brad Davis sucks. What's wrong with the offensive line? Brad Davis. There's an email this guy from David. Maybe Sloan's not to blame for the pathetic rushing totals. What about the run blocking and offensive line by Brad Davis? How about Paul Mabenga's growth? How about the development of that offensive line over 3 years when you were starting 2 true freshmen back in 2022 and Campbell and Jones and what they became? Yeah, you're allowed to improve. Paul Mabenga is a great illustration of that. Now, where they absolutely must improve, this is not even a maybe. This is, if LSU is going to reach the ceiling that we all think and hope they can be this year, they've got to get better at spots on the offensive line. When you look at pass blocking grades, Braylon Moore was a 78. Paul Mabenga was a 75. Tyree Adams was a 73. Josh Thompson was a 59. Weston Davis was a 32. That's the right side of your line. That's a problem. The run blocking grades, Braylon Moore, as we said, 68.7. These were not very good. Mabenga was at a 57. Weston Davis a 50. Josh Thompson a 50. Tyree Adams a 50. Cohen Eccles a 50. That's a problem. Now, my contention is those are very talented players. Do you remember whenever we talked about the offensive line through fall camp, which was every day, right? I mean, listen, I'm really sincerely not trying to be contentious here, I promise. No matter if you're on guard because you disagree with me, just please hear me out here because I think we'll agree on this. I promise you I'm not being contentious here. We all talked about the offensive line every day in fall camp, right? Didn't we? 5 new starters, different positions. How are they doing? It was the question we talked about. And if you followed our camp reports, I said over and over and over again, when they would do the individual drills, right, the one-on-one pass rush drills, the offensive line won a ton of those against a great defensive front, which we now see as a great defensive front. But when they go in the team period, giant advantage went to the defense. I often describe it like this purple wave would just envelop the offensive line. One-on-one, they were very good because they're talented. When 5 had to play as one, they struggled because they haven't played together yet. That's something you hope will develop in time. That's something Brian Kelly on Monday talked about. He's optimistic with this offensive line.
We just have to continue to develop. We're playing a redshirt freshman at right tackle, and we're playing a group of guys that are playing together. Paul hasn't played a ton. Cohen hasn't played a ton. Tyree hasn't played a ton. So these are guys that are still growing and developing. And I said this after the game, I'm bullish on this group. I think they're going to be really good. As we can continue to develop, they're going to be a good group, but we got some work to do.
I mean, Tyree Adams, in his career at LSU, has played 350 snaps. That's your left tackle. And by the way, of those 350 snaps in his career, 209 of them have come this year. So far through 3 games. You want to look at Weston Davis? Weston Davis, in his career at LSU, has played 232 snaps. 212 of them are this year. Do you understand the point? Like, he's not wrong. You're playing a bunch of new guys that are inexperienced. Oh, by the way, kid, here's your first game. Why don't you run out there against Clemson in that madhouse of an environment against that defensive line with a couple of dudes that are going to go in the first round? Good luck. Do I think they are protecting that offensive line with their play call? Yeah, I do. Is that going to change this week against Southeastern? I think it will. Because it don't matter who Southeastern runs out there. They don't match up. When LSU goes to Ole Miss in a couple weeks, do I think we're going to see a more aggressive play call? Yup. Why? Because I just watched Ole Miss give up 500 yards to Arkansas. Respect to Taylor Green, really good player. LSU's got better players all over the field. So, you've got talent. It's literally the thing we've been saying since before they played games. So it's not like I'm giving you hindsight 2020. I'm telling you, when we were at practice in the fall, I was giving you these reports. They got talent. The question is, can the 5 play as one? How quickly that group can assemble 5 to play as one is going to be the telltale, I believe, of this entire season for LSU. Because we know the defense is awesome. We know Nuss is capable of throwing for 4,000 yards in a season. That's not a guess. That's an objective fact. He has done that. We know they've got receivers that can play, a running back that's really good. We know all that. How quickly can that offensive line 5 play as one at their peak level? That'll determine what this team's success or failure will be this year. Flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. Deshaun Spears was your highest graded defender. He only played 9 snaps, though, so he wouldn't typically qualify for us having this conversation. But when you play 9 defensive snaps and you come away with 2 interceptions and your overall grade is a 99.9, it warrants a mention. It warrants a mention. But look at the top 4 and 5 of the top 6. Deshaun Spears, Mansour Delane, A.J. Halsey, P.J. Woodland, West Weeks, and then D.J. Pickett. 5 of your top 6 are defensive backs. Remember, a week ago against Tech, 3 of the top 4 were sophomore defensive linemen. It was Bro and Relaford and McKinley. Against Florida this week, it was the defensive backfield. What that shows is incredible balance at all 3 levels of your defense. You are elite at all 3 levels, and on different days, it'll be the front. On different days, it'll be the secondary that really emerges and plays great. But major hat tip to Corey Raymond. I don't need to sit here and go dig on Twitter and find receipts. All y'all who were pointing the finger at Corey Raymond 3 years ago, y'all know who you are. And right now, you're all sitting there not saying a damn thing. You know who you are, but you know who you are, and that's cool. We ain't got to have that out. But understand how stupid that comment was 3 years ago, thinking that you were better off getting rid of Corey Raymond. And it's interesting, you look at the bottom. Perkins and Gooden are down there near the bottom in their grades against Florida. Perkins' coverage grade was only a 33. Gooden grade out low in his run defense grade against Florida. But some days it's going to be their day and some days it's not. It's just the way it's going to work when you have a talented defense like that. I'm not worried about any of it, man. The defense is great. Maybe the other thing that really jumps out at the page is when you look at the snap counts from the defensive line. I mean, they are rotating so freely. LSU played 82 defensive snaps. Pyburn played 49. McKinley played 39. Mathis played 9. Guillory played 29. Butler played 29. Relaford played 35. Peyton played 53. Ahmad Bro played 26 snaps. Bernard Gooden played 51. You see my point? Like, they are freely rotating fresh bodies on that defensive line, and there's no drop-off. It's incredible. It's an incredible shift from what this defense was a few years back when a guy like Mekhi Wingo never came off the field, when you really had like 3 defensive tackles, or what you were last year where you had to move Gio Paez inside, where you had to take players that were ends and move them inside just because you didn't have numbers a year ago. But, man, they're a lot of fun to watch, and I don't think they're going to get – I don't think they're all of a sudden going to be bad. I think they're only going to keep getting better. And one more thing from the PFF grades from LSU against Florida. I want to mention special teams. Now, it's easy to look at the specialists, right? It's easy to look at Damian Ramos nailing both of his field goals. It's easy to look at Aaron Burrell as a touchback machine. It's easy to look at Grant Chadwick, who had 4 punts of 50 yards or more, 4 down inside the 20, 1 out of bounds at the 2. It's easy to look at your return specialists. But what I want to focus on are the coverage units because of the names. Highest graded player in special teams was Toviano. Number 2 is DJ Pickett. Number 3 is Devon Keys, who led your team in tackles. Number 4 was P.J. Woodland, who's a starting cornerback. Number 5 is Chris Hilton. Do you see my point? When you're committed to being great in special teams and you have great depth, then starting caliber players can play special teams for you, which is going to elevate your play in the third phase of the game as well. Toviano, Pickett, Keys, Woodland, Hilton, these guys are playing special teams for you. Yeah, you're going to be better on special teams when your best players are playing special teams. And when you have great depth, like we just talked about with the defensive line, you can do that. A lot of fun watching this team, man. Really, really good grades coming out after LSU beat Florida 20-10. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Emmitt Smith, NFL's all-time leading rusher. Had a chance to visit with him a bit ago. You'll hear that conversation next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. For River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. A couple things I love that I tell you all the time about River City's 1 Hour Air. Number one, what I just said. The scheduled time, if they're late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. They value your time and your money. And they also take great pride in making you comfortable. Let's be honest. Inviting a stranger into your home is not a comfortable thing. At River City's 1 Hour Air, they have expertly trained technicians that are giving continuing education, so they're always up to date with latest technology, all the different technology and practices. But also, you'll get a text, an email, and a call alerting you the technician's on the way, the name of the technician, photo of the technician, reviews of that technician. They think of everything. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She says she's got a dream, and I ask what it is. She wants a little farm and a yard full of kids.
Well, when we get an opportunity to talk to a Pro Football Hall of Famer, we'll always take it. But when it happens to be the man that's the NFL's all-time leading rusher, the 1993 MVP, he's a Super Bowl winner, he's an All-Pro. He needs no introduction, but in this town on this week, nothing better than talking to a former Florida Gator. Thank God the Tigers got it done Saturday night. He is the great Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, it's a pleasure. Thanks for a couple of minutes. How are you?
No, I'm good. And go ahead and enjoy this victory while you can.
Well, during your, by the way, Emmitt's with us on behalf of the Ready to Rescue initiative. We're going to talk plenty more about that, doing a great event out at LSU. We'll talk plenty about that here as we move throughout our conversation. But, man, I would love a thought, though. I know you bleed orange and blue from Escambia. You're Gator through and through. But a thought on that game Saturday night in Tiger Stadium with LSU upending the Gators.
Well, I learned a long time ago as a freshman in high school when I fumbled the ball 3 times in one practice that the football was the most important thing on the football field. So when you turn the ball over 4 or 5 times like we did against LSU and a team like LSU, there is no way you're supposed to win the ball game unless you get absolutely lucky. And so protecting the football is one of the things that we needed to do. Running the football is another thing that we needed to do. But stopping LSU's offense is something that we did a fairly decent job at. But when you turn the ball over enough and you get LSU offense a chance to do what they did, it's tough.
Were you in Tiger Stadium Saturday night?
No, I was in Dallas.
You were in Dallas.
I was in Dallas. I was actually in Dallas watching my kids play, and Texas A&M play Notre Dame.
Oh, we're going to talk about that because I got to know what it's like to be an SEC dad, but we'll get there in a second. But you have Tiger Stadium memories. You played in Baton Rouge twice, in 87 and in 89. Of course, you went 1-1 in those games. The 89 game, though, is super controversial. For those who don't know, it's known as the first ever college overtime game in college football. It's because, well, Florida cheated and got an extra play and ended up winning the game. I don't know how, Emmitt, all this time later, you could live with yourself with the way that one played out.
I didn't call the extra play. They gave us if they did give us an extra play, we ran it, and so we made it happen.
For those that don't know, it was a wild play. LSU was leading, and Florida threw a ball out of bounds with 3 seconds to go. They put 1 second back on the clock, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. But do you have
that minute was 4th down?
it was 4th down.
Right.
However, the extra second I think might be a little controversial. Maybe.
Well. Hey! Come on now. Hey. They, as someone said, they went back and reviewed and did what they needed to do and made a suggestion that it was 1 second left. That had nothing to do with us.
Do you have?
We didn't make that decision.
Do you have like just memory? It's been a long time. It's just a different era too. But do you have memories of? And of course we're teasing. But do you have memories of playing in Tiger Stadium, like as a visitor, in what that was like?
Yes, I do. I remember the first time in 87 coming here, and we were coming out of our locker room ready to come onto the football field, and they had the tiger in the cage right by our entranceway, right? And they shocked the tiger with some kind of doggone object, and the tiger went to roar, and it was crazy. It was crazy loud. It was crazy cool. And it was a good game, though. It was a good, fun game to play in.
You did play in 2 really competitive games in Baton Rouge. Emmitt Smith got the best of the Tigers, 2-1 in his 3-year career there. But I'm curious what it's like. So your son, EJ, who you just alluded to, played 4 years at Stanford. His freshman year was in the COVID year, so he's got the extras. He's a super senior this year in his second year at A&M. How does it compare being an SEC dad as opposed to playing in the SEC?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's always crazy when you're watching your kids compete at the collegiate level or at any level, to be honest with you. Just watching them compete on the football field or the baseball field or the soccer field or anything that they're doing, you just want to see them do well. And when you see kids, your kids or any other kid that has some talent, especially when it's your kid, you're like, okay, we got potential here. Let's see how far this potential can go, because we all have a clothes with the measure of potential. The question is, how far can we carry it, and will it carry us all the way to the top where we might have the chance to experience what our fathers may experience or our parents may have experienced, and so forth. And that's what you look to see what happens. But nonetheless, we're proud of our kids no matter what, as long as they're giving forth the best effort that they can and putting their best foot forward and competing at a level that affords them an opportunity to earn the right to be on the football field. I'm proud. I'm nervous as all get out watching them play and competing, especially in the SEC or even in any conference. Even when it was at Stanford, it was just nerve-wracking to sit up there and watch him run against teams that knew who he was, and seeing how people and players on the opposite side try to treat him and sort of, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to get out there and compete with them and be right alongside them. Just let me show you how it should be done. Let me pancake this guy for you one time so you understand what it's like. You know, it's those kind of things. You want to get out there and fight that battle, but you can't, and you understand that.
The great Emmitt Smith is with us on behalf of the Ready to Rescue initiative, readytorescue.com. Get a thought on that here in a second. But I'd also love to get 2 NFL questions in if I could for you. You know, we're obviously here locally in Louisiana, and there's a ton of Saints fans here. And I don't think it's going to be a great season, Emmitt, but there is a new head coach in Kellen Moore. I would more love your perspective as a guy who played a decade and a half in the NFL on what it's like or what it would be like to play for a young head coach that's kind of the same age as a lot of his peers. I mean, Kellen Moore just turned 37. He's basically the same age as DeMario Davis. How do you think that goes in the locker room?
You know what? That's a very good question because I never experienced that before in my life. So it's kind of hard for me to imagine that my head coach is about as young as I am. And, you know, his career was nowhere near to the career that I'm actually having right now. So how can he understand? Yes, he's a great student of the game, but so am I as a player. I'm a professional as well. I break down film and study film just like he does and know the game from a different perspective, inside out at the highest level. And so I can understand how players may question his ability. However, have been a high-performing athlete for a period of time doesn't always translate into a great coach. And sometimes guys like a Kellen Moore and Jason Garrett and others who have been training or helping the number one guys become the very best that they can be turn out to be some very good coaches. But also at the same time, you look at a guy like Dion, who's turning around and motivating kids and inspiring kids in a totally different way. So those things are things that you take under consideration, and it's really about your staff. It's really about your supporting staff, your offensive coordinator, your O-line coach, your run game coordinator, your pass game coordinator, putting all those things together. And what I find is some coaches that have labeled great have a tendency to do what they always inspire to do anyway. And that in some cases, you're talking about quarterbacks that playing as head coaches want to throw the ball all the time and forget about the run game. And the run game itself is the one thing that bridges the inexperience of a quarterback, if you will. It bridges that gap between the inexperienced quarterback and stabilizing the offense so that inexperienced quarterback can gain knowledge and hopefully supersede and master the offense
No doubt. I mean, you mentioned Saquon. Look, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Ashton Genty. There's been a renaissance at that position, no doubt, in the NFL. But I saw something after Monday Night Football where Ashton Genty said he's still adjusting to the speed of the NFL. Look, you were the Offensive Rookie of the Year. How quickly do you think a guy like Ashton Genty or a great running back coming from a place like Boise State should realistically need to adjust to the speed of the NFL?
Well, what that means is either he's still learning the plays and he's still processing, and his processing speed hasn't really truly caught up. So he's still thinking about what he needs to do, who he needs to block, and so forth, and reading certain keys. But Ashton just probably needs to learn from a running game standpoint how just to be natural. And just understand that North and South is a lot better than going East and West in the National Football League.
Emmitt Smith with us today on behalf of the Ready to Rescue Initiative. Going to be doing an event at LSU. Emmitt, why is this? First of all, what is the Ready to Rescue Initiative? Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, the reason why the Ready to Rescue mission means so much to me is because I've had experiences I lost a teammate back in the late 90s, and my sister-in-law, who was dealing with stage 4 cancer, had a bout with an opioid overdose while she was on a medication, recovering from stage 4 cancer. And seeing other celebrities and other people losing their lives to fentanyl and other opioid overdoses, when the urgent came to me and I asked if I wouldn't mind being a part of this campaign, I felt like it was something that I could do to help spread more awareness around the opioid epidemic. And so it was a natural fit for me because I've had personal experience with dealing with family members and friends and lost family members and friends in this whole process. And I know that if there's a chance to help another person not lose their life, this is something that fit right into my wheelhouse.
Amen. ReadyToRescue.com is the website to learn more. ReadyToRescue.com. You're going to be out at LSU doing an event. How can people get involved if they want to see you or learn more or find out more?
Well, I'm sure there's folks out there right now getting prepared for us to come through. And you can go to ReadyToRescue.com. You can go to Narcan.com as well and be able to grab information in terms of where we're going to be at and hopefully get involved in the most positive way to help save another person's life.
Well said. ReadyToRescue.com. It's T-O, ReadyToRescue.com if you want to find out more about the Ready to Rescue initiative and the great work that the great Emmitt Smith is doing with that fantastic organization. Emmitt, we appreciate a couple of minutes. Thanks for having some fun with us as well earlier. All the best to you and continued success.
All right. Thank you.
Our conversation with Emmitt Smith just a bit ago. We will have Sean Salisbury in 30 minutes. Excited to dive into quarterback play from this weekend. Nuss, the torso stuff, what he sees from Spencer Rattler. Saints going up to take on Seattle this week. A little bit of a breather for LSU. We'll dive into all that with Sean Salisbury coming up. I love telling you about Supper Club. Whenever we talk about Supper Club, I love to sort of illustrate some of the differentiators. But there's a lot of places that you can go and have a USDA prime steak. At Supper Club, you will truly have one-of-a-kind experiences. Like I've told you about the Japanese Omi beef, which there's only like 2 or 3 restaurants in the entire United States of America that sell that. Well, there's another pretty special opportunity if you love steak, if you go to Supper Club right now. See, Supper Club has on its menu Sagrera cows. And this is the cow that they get the entire cow. They butcher it there in-house at Supper Club in the kitchen, all of it. Well, Chef Layton gave me a little bit of a heads up a couple weeks ago that they were probably going to get one that graded off the chart. So there's something called the IMF scale. It's the intramuscular fat scale. You don't need to know what that is, what that means. Doesn't matter. It's basically just how they determine what meat is select, choice, and then prime, right? And it's a scale that goes from 3 to 6 is choice, 6 to 10 is prime, and then you go above that, it's like prime plus. They have a cow right now that is a 14, off the charts, prime plus at Supper Club. Y'all, I mean, I don't even know if I've ever seen that before, but they got it at Supper Club. If you love steak, you want to try something you've never had before, you go to Supper Club. It's just what you do. You want the best experience possible, just having a cocktail at the bar, a place to watch the LSU game. They're not a sports bar, but they got the games on the screen and the big 100-inch projection screen in the lounge, where if you're sitting at any of the 14 bar stools or the 7 bar area tables, you can see the game instead of eating bar food. How about you go have an awesome steak, a piece of fish, the veal parm. My buddy Chris Gordy was in town from Houston. He sent me a picture on Friday night of the veal parm he had over at Supper Club. I was like, brother, I dream about that veal parm. Y'all, you hadn't been to Supper Club yet. What are you waiting on? Book your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. 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 All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us. Tuesday show's powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We're going to knock out a break. Both Ellen Moore and Mike McDonald started to preview the matchup with the Saints and the Seahawks coming up this weekend. We'll let you hear what the two head men had to say. Tigers and the pros here in about a dozen minutes from right now. Sean Salisbury at the top of hour 3. Ton to do, don't you move. It's AFR.
After further review.
Y'all, COVID changed the world. Most of us would like to forget COVID, and I wouldn't blame you for it. But we certainly know that coming through that experience, it changed everything. It changed the way we work. We know things like Zoom that's so common now in our vernacular and practice. But for a lot of businesses coming out of COVID, they've never really recovered with the hiring practices because the workforce changed as well. So if you're a business owner, an operations manager, an HR manager, the person in charge of hiring and finding the right people for your business, maybe you're a small business owner, maybe you're a giant corporation. But if you're having trouble finding the right people, you need to find Glow Resources. First of all, Jareth Knockan and his team, they're awesome. Like you walk in and you just understand the vibe, the culture, the friendliness, how much fun they have at that business, and they're fun to work with. But they get results. GLO, glowresources.com. Glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing high school student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
I was going to play some audio from Kellen Moore and Mike McDonald, but we'll get to that in a smidge. I saw this text. We're talking about the LSU offensive line, and Greg sent a text and said, I don't buy the 5 learning to play as one when it comes to the run game. You almost can't get more experience than last year's line. They sucked at run blocking. Okay, a couple things. Number one, last year's offensive line, did they suck at run blocking, or did they just not run the ball enough? That was the whole premise that Cole Kublik gave us over the summer that I think a lot of people really bought into. LSU was 60-40 pass to run. They just didn't run the ball enough. I think if you don't have to take my you go argue with Cole Kublik. Okay, it was a starting center in the SEC. Okay, you take that up with him, not me. The 5 playing as one, to argue against that is fundamentally absurd. Listen, I'm going to tell you something from my experience, and this is not a glory days thing. I promise you, I don't lean into that. I played high school football. A lot of you did too. It's not a big deal. But I was an offensive guard. I played 25 years ago, and I still, to this day, remember all of those calls. Combo, Gus, Gil, Tim, like all those calls, and the necessity of having the person next to you when you go to the line, make your call, and have unwavering trust that that person knows what they're supposed to do based on what the play call is, what the blocking scheme is, where the ball is going, what you have to do. Like, I'm a nobody. Played high school football 25 years ago. I know the importance of that. You don't think it's important that with 5 new starters on the offensive line, those guys learning to play together and their tendencies? I was listening to OTB this morning, and I was listening to Hester and Flynn, and they were making a great, like Matt Flynn was making a great point about this, to say, like, they look like the offensive line right now, from his perspective, they look like robots. Like, they know they're thinking so much about what they're technically supposed to do that it's not happening naturally, and so it's slowing them down athletically, which that's comfort playing together with the people who are next to you. That is a very natural thing to happen. I mean, think about what happened to LSU in November last year when Garrett Dellinger got hurt and Paul Mabenga went in. Like, you had DJ Chester, who was your weakest link on the offensive line a year ago. I think DJ Chester is a big physical player, and credit to him for starting 13 games at center last year, which was out of position because he's not a center. But he had Garrett Dellinger and Miles Frazier next to him, 2 guys that were 4-year starters. He had veteran dudes that could help pick him up. Well, all of a sudden, Dellinger goes out, and now you put Mabenga in, and you got 2 inexperienced guys next to each other on the offensive line, and it was a mess against Bama and then Florida. The next 2 weeks, Dellinger got hurt against A&M. Then you played Bama and Florida. How did that look? And then slowly Mabenga got better as the weeks went along. Look at this year. The interior of your line with Braylon Moore has been awesome. He goes out against Louisiana Tech. What happened? Like, this isn't a hard thing to see. You don't have to be Hall of Famer Kevin Mawai to come on and say this. Like, Kevin could say it. It would mean way more coming from him because he's got incredible credibility. But, like, Brian Kelly's telling you this. It is true. It's why we talked about it all offseason. Like, this isn't some fabricated thing with the benefit of hindsight. All throughout spring, we went and looked at the rotations on the offensive line. It's why they went and added Braylon Moore. It's why they added Josh Thompson. It's why we talked about the rotations all throughout spring. It's why we spent every day of fall camp talking about who was running where with the offensive line with the 1s and the 2s, and when Karius Kern was getting reps at left tackle. Then all of a sudden, like the last week of camp, now all of a sudden they're giving first-team reps to Kern at right tackle because they're trying to push Weston Davis. Now that kind of makes a little sense, doesn't it? Like, It's not like this was plucked from the air 3 games in. It's literally the thing we all of us, not just me, you, all of us, everybody. We all talked about it. The offensive line. 4 guys got drafted, 5 new starters. We all talked about this all offseason. It stuns me that it's stunning to you that this could possibly be a little bit of an issue, especially when you had to play Clemson and Florida, who might boast the 2 best defensive lines you're going to play all year. It may be that. We may look back at after the season in hindsight, and there's somebody better. Like maybe Oklahoma's awesome. Maybe Bama gets healthy and they're awesome on the defensive line. I don't know. We'll see with the benefit of hindsight how it looks. But we could look back with the benefit of hindsight after a 12-game regular season and go, man, the 2 best defensive lines you played all year were Clemson and Florida. It may bear out that way. And you go, oh, I get it. 5 new starters on the offensive line, and they had to start with that. That's a really tough ask, but they got better as the season went along. That's what I'm hoping happens, but only time will tell. But, man, if you can't acknowledge the legitimacy of the argument of 5 having to play as 1 with 5 new starters, like, I can't help you. I mean, that's like me saying sky's blue, and you're going, no, it's not. I'm sorry, what? The grass is green. Yeah, it is. Like, yes, it is. That's an objective fact. So, I'm going to say this again. I told you, you're going to hear me say this a lot over the next 2 weeks. So get used to it. It's going to be like puking in a bucket because you're going to hear me say it so much. Like, the next 2 weeks will be so revealing for this offense because you are so dramatically and physically better than Southeastern and Ole Miss's defense. I have watched Ole Miss now 3 times. Their defense stinks. Certainly relative to what it was a year ago when they had NFL guys at all 3 levels. They do not have NFL guys at all 3 levels this year. You had better be able to go into Oxford and move the football almost at will. If you can't do that the next 2 weeks, I'll come back here and I'll have a very honest conversation with you about this offense and what they are and what their ceiling can be, and who's at fault and all that stuff. But I have a sneaky suspicion the next 2 weeks are going to look a little better, a lot better offensively, because the level of competition is going to be downgraded dramatically, and your team offensively, you would anticipate, would keep getting better, especially with all the new. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New, certified, pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. As a matter of fact, just this morning, I was talking to a coworker. True story. I was talking to Judy, and she was saying she's looking to get a new car. She wants to trade in her old car. It's a 2015 with 62,000 miles on it. I was like, well, you looking for a new or a pre-owned? She's like, I'll do pre-owned. I said, go check out South Point Volkswagen. She's like, I don't want a Volkswagen. I said, that's fine. They got all different makes and models. Check it out. So she went to the website, hit the used tab, and you could search by year, make, model, body style, price, any of that stuff. So you go hit the used tab at the top of the website, and you'll see every vehicle right there. If it's on the lot, search inventory, hit the used tab, search inventory, and then you'll see every vehicle. You can hit there's year, make, model, body style, price. You see them all listed right there. If it's on the lot, it's online. Mr. Kerry Manuel's got a great selection over there. So go shop them online and test drive one today. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We always appreciate Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Pass that new Sunshine office on Pico every day on the way to work. It's coming up fast. We'll tell you when it's open. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. We used to do Tigers in the pros, and we come back to wrap up hour number 2 next.
After Further Review.
You know, I think about this sometimes. The fact that it's September the 16th, and it's 91 degrees outside, and it's still pool season. Like whenever Monday Night Football happened to open, or Sunday Night Football when they had the Bills played at home, and it's 57 degrees, I'm like, man, we're still swimming. Man, you want a pool, it'll change everything about your house. How often you want to stay at your house, when your friends and family want to gather at your house, put a TV outside, how you enjoy football in the early parts of the season. Even during the cold weather months, it's just a beautiful showpiece to be out by the pool for a party or when the weather's a little bit cooler and nicer. Duplessis Builders can make all that happen. They're going to build you a beautiful pool or renovate your current pool or remodel your current pool. Check them out online and schedule that consult. DuplessisBuilders.net.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and...
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we'll talk to Sean Salisbury in about a dozen minutes from right now. One of the convos we always look forward to every week. Right now, Muso as Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, obviously an expected move, but one that was made official today. The Bengals have placed Joe Burrow on injured reserve, of course. Joey B set to have surgery for grade 3 turf toe, repair some torn ligaments in his foot. That'll keep him out for 3 months. Monday Night Football, a big night for former Tiger defenders. We'll start with Danielle Hunter of the Houston Texans. He had 5 stops. 2 of those were sacks. He also had an additional hit on the quarterback. The 2 sacks, his first of the season. And also DJ Stingley, he was shadowing Mike Evans the majority of the night. 3 stops, 2 passes defense there for Sting.
DJ?
Did I? Sorry, Derek.
You call him DJ.
Derek Stingley Jr. For the Raiders.
I was like, did he change his name?
No, he
going
didn't.
by DJ now?
No, he didn't. Although I guess he could, Derek Jr. I mean, I guess technically, if he wanted to. Devin White, leading tackler for the Vegas Raiders with 6 stops a night ago. And Jamal Adams as well, 3 stops, a big one down on the goal line. Cam Sanders was back on the bump for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah!
In 2/3 and an earned run. He did quite well. Josh Smith. There it is. 1 out of 3 with a single. That one drove in a run. And Paul Skeens, he's on the bump in about, 43 minutes or so. Looking to go to 11-9.
Let's go.
Still has a sub-2 ERA. He's awesome. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills been doing it since 1968. I love telling you about Shaw Bills because they're going to send you name brand tires. They'll sell you name brand. I think I said send you. They're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. They're going to treat you like family so you keep coming back year after year after year after year. And if you need a big repair on your vehicle, that's no problem. Listen, they can do your oil changes and your tire rotations, and if you got squeaky brakes or you need an alignment, they do all of that. But they can do your big repairs as well. Whatever you need for your vehicle, Shaw Bills can help, and remember, they're going to treat you like family. It's in their Bill of Rights. Mr. Charlie established a customer Bill of Rights. It's things that he believes that you, as a customer, are entitled to when you walk through the doors as a customer at Shaw Bills. A lot of people say customer service is a lost art. Not at Shaw Bills. They've been doing that for almost 60 years now. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We're going to talk to Sean Salisbury coming up after the top of the hour. And I want to dive into a lot of quarterback stuff with Sean, as we always do. In particular, what he's seeing from Spencer Rattler, who objectively is not losing you the game, but is he doing enough to break through and win for you? And then the other side of it, with practice, he's playing. So what necessarily are we seeing? We'll dive into all that with Sean Salisbury when we come back after SportsCenter. It's AFR.
AFR.
Rouse's is helping you cover the spread. No, not like in Vegas. At your tailgate. Rouse's is helping you cover the spread the entire football season. You can always get to Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. You can download the Rouse's app, which we always encourage you to do. Remember, if you're shopping, you can get your personal shopper to go pick out your items for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots. They bring it out to you. You spend $35. There's no charge for that service. It's Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Celebrating 65 years in business, still locally owned and operated. By the way, if you haven't looked at the calendar, it's Tuesday. And every Tuesday over at Rouse's, it's $5 Sushi Tuesdays. So if you crave sushi sometimes, like I do, $5 hand-rolled sushi over at any Rouse's location. That's every Tuesday. So on the way home, pull on in, grab you some sushi, maybe a bottle of wine. Rouse's, this feels like home.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL, in a statement today, announced that Tom Brady did not violate any NFL rules by wearing a headset in the Raiders coaching booth last night. According to the league, Brady...
Hey, Sean, can you hear me? All right, perfect. Just hold tight.
He's not gaining any competitive advantage here, says ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I think Tom Brady understands what's professional and moral, and I don't think he's sneaking into the Chiefs facility as a broadcaster, stealing secrets, and then dispensing them to the Raiders. The information that he gets, we all can watch the film and see tendencies of players. He's studying a lot of film of a lot of guys.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. In the wake of Joe Burrow's turf toe injury, the Bengals signed Sean Clifford and Mike White to their practice squad. Quarterback Jake Browning set to start in place of Burrow. Vikings agreed to terms with free agent quarterback Desmond Ridder, giving them a third healthy QB with starter J.J. McCarthy out with a high right ankle sprain. Carson Wentz will get the start this week.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Thank you. Yep. All right, we do it every week. We catch up with Sean Salisbury, Sports Talk 790 in Houston. Also Unpaved on YouTube weekdays at noon Central. Make sure you're subscribed there on the channel. Get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Sean, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to be on with you, Matt.
Always our pleasure. Man, I want to get into some Saints and NFL in the next segment, but I'd be remiss if we didn't start with what Brian Kelly told us on Monday. Garrett Nussmeier, a torso injury. Sean, like, having played the position, I think I want to lean into you here. And I did ask Brian Kelly after the press conference why Nussmeier wasn't on the injury report, and he said, you only have to list him on the injury report if he doesn't practice or is limited. So if someone is practicing, is not limited, and is playing in the game, how big of a deal really is this?
A big of a deal for Nussmeier or for just the whole protocol injuries?
No, yeah, I'm sorry. For Nussmeier, right? As a quarterback who's got something, right? Torso, we've heard oblique. But if it's not even limiting him at practice, according to the head coach, like, what could he be working through here?
Well, I guess the best way to describe it, aside from the torso for that position, the lower half, obviously, for the leg drive, whether it's a baseball hitter, a golfer, all those things that we know how athletic you have. I mean, everybody in sports has got the lower half, but the torso and the rotation for a quarterback is everything. The question is what his threshold of pain is. Now, can you hurt it worse? I don't know what the doctors are saying about that, Maddie, but if you can't hurt it worse, it's just a threshold of pain thing with the torso. So if you're practicing going through it and you were judging his performance by, well, what we see, and he wasn't on the injury report, and you set and go out there and say, okay, well, is he the same guy or is something going wrong? And, it seems odd that I don't even know, Matt, did you even know? I didn't know there was a problem going into this game about him at all. What was your guys on your guys' end?
So we first heard about this we talked about it the Saturday before the Clemson game. Because he did that part, a
little upset, right?
Yeah, he didn't throw a pass in that practice, which was open to the media. Brian Kelly said it was a pitch count. I was told oblique, asked a bunch of people, was told it's a total non-thing. But now here we are after week 3, and Brian Kelly saying he's been dealing with a little thing. So that's where it's trying to navigate what exactly, how much could this actually be limiting him?
Yeah, and the thing is it's probably one of those things, it's close to load management as you can get practice-wise, but making sure that it's not, impeding his ability to rotate because, if we were in a big studio and you could tell, just the upper body rotation and the leg drive that you have is the lower half, but the torso for a quarterback, because it'd be like taking your biggest swing, Maddie, in a golf course, and after you hit the ball, just stopping, like brakes and gas, but the brakes are usually going to win. So the ability to rotate your torso, to me, if he says it's a minor thing and they're on a pitch count, and the pitch count's not for his arm, but for his torso, it tells me it's one of those things that they're not going to hurt worse by the rotation. I'm just going from in past and my vantage point, but it is a simple, what's the threshold of pain on the finish and on the rotation, and what part of the rotation is the beginning of the rotation on when he fires the right side as a right-hander, or is it the end of the rotation on the finish? And it can have a major effect on the result of the football and the accuracy, especially if you're babying it as a quarterback. You got to let it rip and let it go because it can affect extension. It can also affect like I said, the initial, the up and out release. And then all of a sudden what happens if it was a long time, one of those that nagged you a while, what ends up happening is you start to, your mechanics start to change a little bit because you're trying to overcompensate for the torso. So how can you get around the pain free? So really, if that's how they're describing it, that it's not a major, like you said the Friday before, if it's not anything major, it's a minor thing, that's a pitch count just because of the threshold of pain, then that will come down to Nuss being able to deal with it. And let's hope it doesn't last. But the pitch count on the practice field, I would think, is the ability to make sure that he's closer to full health when he's playing on Saturdays.
Do you think, and Brian Kelly's not indicated in any way that they would sit him, but what he said was that he won't be probably 100%. They shut him down in the bye week. So they play Southeastern, then Ole Miss, then they have a bye week. So they'll shut him down in the bye week, and then he should be 100%. Would you play him against Southeastern this week?
No, if I got to wait, I wouldn't, because there's that game called, you said it's Ole Miss, right, in between the two?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I there's part of me that wish that when Nuss was sitting here with you and I'd say, okay, we got to empty the bucket and tell the truth, and you can't protect. How's it affecting you? Well, I'm at about 75%. I'm just speaking as if I'm him. I don't know what the percentage is, and have him tell us, then we could judge more. But for me, the way they're playing defense and forcing turnovers. Now, you probably got a fist fight Nuss to keep him out of the lineup because he's a competitive guy and wants to play.
Right.
But if you're looking at the big picture, if he put it this way, Matt, if he can still play at 90%, you know how this goes. Once football season starts, I don't know many guys in my career that played once the season started and fell 100%. And there is a difference. Injured is one thing, hurt is another. I expect to play hurt, and I expect people around me to play hurt, dealing with the threshold of pain. When you're injured, then we got to look deeper into it. People play hurt all the time. Sore hammy, play, get it ready, iced up. Quarterback, my shoulder's bothering me, iced up. Favre probably went through playing hurt 8 million times in his career, and probably a couple times injured. We had no business playing, but that's who he was. So I guess if I'm judging by percentage, how are you feeling? And right now, I'd probably say, Matt, can you get through practice 100%? And the answer right now is no. And I'm a guy that wants to play all. I hate load management and go and play. But if you can't get through practice, but we're playing Ole Miss this week, I'd say, I'm going to gut it out because I'm missing this game. It's too important. It's an SEC game. But if I'm not practicing and I'm not going to, the threshold of pain was so much that I want to be as close to 100% as I can versus Ole Miss. I don't see the reason other than his competitiveness to play it. You're not getting beat by them. Your team's playing great defense. You probably got to score, 3 touchdowns to win? They've got plenty of personnel that can do it. But I don't know his threshold of pain. If it's affecting him to the point where he is not 100%, this is a good time to rest him, to get him as close to 100% as Ole Miss. Then he comes out of that, not 100%. Then you get the bye week, and then you're 2 weeks, after Ole Miss to play. This seems like the time. This is the right time to do it if the threshold of pain or the percentages. Man, I'm 75%. Why risk not having the Ole Miss game as opposed to this? I'd want him rested and ready to go and as close to 100% as I could for Ole Miss. That seems more logical. If I possibly could and I didn't think that he could get through this game or he can't get through it healthy, I'm holding him out, and I don't normally subscribe to that because I know what a competitor he is, and I wouldn't want to miss it either if I was him. It's still a game.
Okay, one more, and let's assume that what Brian Kelly has said is true, that Garrett Nuss, this thing is not in any way limiting the offense, that it's not limiting their play call, it's not limiting anything that they're doing, and that LSU is choosing to lean on their defense and field position. Kelly said there were 3 instances in the game where a year ago they would have been going for it on a 4th down. The analytics said go, but because he knew his defense was playing the way they punted this year. It's how they're choosing to play. Let's assume that's fair and accurate. Is what they are doing right now sustainable to the point where you can win a national championship with the style of ball they're playing right now? No, because you're going to run into somebody who has the same type of defense. This offense is more explosive. That's the simple explanation. Now, let me backtrack here for a second, but not backtrack, back up. If Brian tells us it's not limiting the offense, then why are we waiting till the bye week for him to be 100%? No matter what athlete it is, if I'm at 90% and I'm running the 100-meter dash at 90%, I'm not breaking the world record. 90% is still 90%. Mm-hmm. If I got 100% of my money, I got more than I had when I had 90% of it. Right.
So it's kind of, we're talking out of both sides. Well, we want to get him, he'll be 100% coming out of the bye week. Well, it's not affecting our offense. Well, if it's not affecting your offense, one is why isn't everybody playing better, more explosive? But secondly, then why am I waiting till the bye week? If he's 100%, let's let it rip. Then we need to make some adjustments. But that's like I said, from a distance, that's the only way I could live. I guess they think 90% or whatever percentage he's at, even though he's not 100%, is not affecting the play calling. But is it affecting performance? And is it really affecting where you say, hey, man, let's get the lead, play close to the vest, make some necessary throws, keep him out of harm's way, and we'll be good. You're going to run into somebody, especially in that conference you guys play in, Matty. Sustainable defense, hell yes. And the commitment to running it and doing it. But what happens? It's such a slippery slope, and then the margin for error when you're playing in those type of games. Old school Nick Saban play, right? Yeah. Play defense, run the football, and Matty, and I don't mean this. I'm not talking about Brian Kelly, but Nick Saban, defensive guys that I've from Luke Fickell, guys that I've known throughout the league, and guys that coached on a staff I was on, defensive coordinators that are head coaches. Sans Brian Kelly because he's an offensive guy, but you know what they want to do? They want to win 17-13.
Yeah.
Now they love 40-13, but they love that grind and grit. We'll keep it close. We'll get a stop in the end, and we'll go down. We'll kick a field goal to win. They love that. There's something about that feeling of that feels more like I'm dominating my opponent as opposed to I got a lucky knockout at 45-10. That's not real football. People love it, but in this case, if you'd ask me, say, Sean, well, can we sustain playing this kind of defense in a different conference and scoring 22 a game or 20? Sure. But you're going to run into a Florida team who hung around a little bit, but at least early on. And then you just had the big play on the scramble. It was a huge play. But then he forced 5 turnovers against a pretty damn good quarterback. Well, what happens when you don't force 5 turnovers against a team who's fairly explosive along this way? It's not. Defense sustainable. We know their special teams will be fine. We know they got weapons and they'll commit to run. But you eventually run into it where your defense isn't getting the stops necessary. That maybe a 3rd down and 7, which they normally get the stop, they don't get it this time because the guy you're playing against, you want to go down the list of quarterbacks in the SEC and the depth of it or around the country that, okay, we can still – you're playing good defense, but at some point in time, you're going to run into somebody. You're going to miss a tackle. Guy's going to take a slant 75 yards for a touchdown. Now it's like, woo, what if we get into a shootout? Are we primed for it? So I think, Maddie, for me, as good as LSU is, they're in this day and age of the way we're doing it and with the depth and the explosiveness around the country at that position and with the weapons there is, you're going to have to play it. There's another notch that they're going to have to play at if this is their philosophy, but they're still going to have to play at another notch offensively, and they're capable of it and not rely on this whole time because that's carrying a burden around. That's like telling your starter in baseball or your front 2 guys or your middle of your lineup that if you guys don't hit 300 each of you and homer every other day, and we're not driving in runs in the first 5 of the order, we're relying on 7, 8, 9. Eventually 7, 8, 9 is going to be a problem. Yeah. And you can't have a 7, 8, 9 as an offense in the SEC. You're going to have to score points. They're too good. The defense is sustainable, but you'll run into an offense that plays kind of defense you play, but exploded more. I expect more from LSU's offense, and you're going to have to get it, which means a healthy Nussmeier, and you're going to have to expand the bandwidth, which we know they're capable of. But I love the way they're playing defense, and 4th and 5 turnovers, you're going to beat everybody, regardless of who it is, if you can do that on defense.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks will certainly be very telling for this LSU offense, see if they're able to.
Absolutely.
Sean Salisbury is our guest. We're going to knock out a quick break. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. We're getting close to the holiday season. A lot of guys like to pop the question around Christmas time, be it radiant cut, emerald cut, cushion cut. They've got all the diamonds, the best selection there at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations from Baton Rouge to Lafayette to New Orleans to Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. A gorgeous selection of women's engagement rings. You can check them out online, or you can go see them at any of their stores. You could schedule that consultation online. Go to lmfj.com. When you show up, they'll greet you with something to drink, chocolates on a tray, and you'll feel the experience that they call the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We'll continue with Sean X. Got to get a thought on Spencer Rattler. Not making mistakes. He's not getting you beat, but is he capable of winning you games? I'll ask Sean next on AFR.
AFR.
Did it a couple of times last week. Let's do it again. Grab your phone. You want to find out how much your home's worth? Let's do it. Let's do it together. Agent225.com. Open up your browser on your phone. If you're at your desktop, just go to agent225.com. That's Darren James's website, the newly redesigned agent225.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see it. It says home value. Tap home value, enter your address. As quickly as you can type your address, it'll pop up. And one of the reasons this tool is more powerful than things like a Zestimate. Like, when was the last time Zillow was in your home? You see, that's a national, broad picture. Darren's algorithm uses local market data from right here. It's going to give you a much more accurate picture of what your home is worth. Let's be honest. If you're trying to buy a home, you got to sell yours. So what's it worth? Find out at agent225.com. Just hit the home value tab right there on the homepage. You can do this in less than 30 seconds. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
They did some good things. I think obviously when you look back, you're going to see some missed opportunities, just like for all of us. We're going to miss opportunities in some critical situations, and there's only so many snaps in this game. We got to take advantage of them.
Kellen Moore, after the Saints' loss on Sunday, the 49ers, 26-21. A couple of possessions there in the final 4 minutes of the game. Couldn't go get the game-winning score. Sean Salisbury's with us on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Sports Talk 790 there in Houston, mornings on the Sean Salisbury Show. And if you're not yet, subscribe to Unpaved on YouTube there, weekdays at noon Central. Make sure you get there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Sean, you heard what Kellen Moore said there, and it's pretty simple. I mean, you look at PFF, Spencer Rattler was the highest-graded offensive player for the Saints, threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was efficient, but they're not winning games. So how do you start to reconcile what we're watching here with Rattler, where he's not costing you games, but he's not winning you games either?
Yeah, and I'm not comparing him, but that's going on in a few places right now. The Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence up and down, even Mahomes' offense. They look shoddy after 2 weeks. They do. They're not that talented. I know, and it's true. We always ask our quarterback, "Well, take care of your business and play at a high level and elevate everybody around you." I'm not sure the whole kit and caboodle of the offense is capable. I think Rattler's done enough to keep the starting job right now, Matty. I do. Okay. And really going in, what do we expect? You didn't expect much from them this year. That's no excuse. They'll go out and play average and don't close out games. But think about what's happened to them. They've been in position late in the game in both games to win and have not. So is that we're hanging around, it's a good sign, or is it we're hanging around, it's a good sign, but we're just not good enough to close it out, and this is who we are? That's one. He's been accurate. He's protected the football, but they've had drop passes. They've had 3rd and long miscues on drop passes. They've had penalties. They've had missed tackles. In both games, there's been situations where some kind of error with it, whether it's a mature team, and you heard Kellen talk about it, is there's always something in a game that either disrupts a drive or extends a drive for the opposing offense. And it's happened in both weeks. Why? And, they got a backup quarterback, and Mac Jones came in and protected it and was accurate with the football. And he was on I got something to prove mission as well. So I don't think we're at the point yet where it's a guy who's been starting for 3 or 4 years. Remember, it's a whole new system and a whole new coach, a whole new play caller since Kellen Moore's doing that as well. and trying to figure out, okay, how are we doing this? Because, the sideways and getting completions, the explosives, where are they? Where are you going to get the 80-yard run at the catch? And they ran the ball pretty well. Kamara, they did.
Yeah.
Alvin ran it well. And so they did good things. But the question is it the quarterback holding them back? Or is it the fact that they're just not right now good enough with their bandwidth to expand this and go? I think it's you still ride with Rattler. We went in and I said, man, 2-man competition. He won the job and he's kept it. The whole, but we're a results-oriented league, and potential is one thing. But if you don't get results into 6 weeks, and you say, well, how do we light this fire and find a way to get it? And if they make that decision, we're not ready for that yet. I think he's done a nice job. I do. I also think that they have to get out. That Kellen Moore needs to get comfortable, even making them uncomfortable. Where okay, this is what we're capable of, but sometimes we're going to have to attack a different way, and they may have to do that. You may have to come out, run it more protected, kind of like LSU's playing, and hope your defense gets stops. Or on the other side of it, Matty, where you come out and say, you know what, we're going to have to think outside the box formationally and movement and do some different things to create mismatches so we have more spacing so we can do something with the ball after the catch, or so he makes the throw. But it's not just one thing. It's a different position. And it's a different grouping of people that each game they're choosing the wrong time. And unfortunately for them, they're not talented enough as a roster to overcome that. Josh Allen's team, they can miss a few and have, oh, man, we had 10 penalties in this game. Well, Superman's playing, and he'll find a way to get in his blue and red suit and make it happen. They're not capable of that because they just talent level, but they just don't have as many players. And that's not to say that a certain group of them, but right now there's some good parts, but the sum is just not the same. So is it Rattler that's holding them back from closing? I don't think so. I think there's more, and it's a grouping of them, and they're coming at the wrong time because they have had a chance in both games to close it out, and they haven't been able to. And I know both at home it's frustrating, but I'll be honest with you, man. I think they're actually playing better football for a good portion of the game than I expected them to play so far in 2025. But it all comes down to this. I'd rather have them play ugly and find a way to close it out than hang around but just miss that throw. Drop that ball on 3rd and long to extend the drive. Miss that tackle on 4th and 3 or 3rd and 5 where you miss a tackle for a 2-yard gain and they get in and they extend a drive. So that'll reveal itself as you go on further to say, okay, where is the biggest glaring weakness? Right now, it's a glaring weakness on focus and just being able to do the right thing at the right time as opposed to hitting solo home runs when you're down 9-3 and you make it 9-5. Man, it was close, but they've made it even closer. Hell, they've got within a run at the end, literally in baseball terms, but just haven't been able to push it across when they've had a chance. So I'm still riding with Rattler right now because I think in the losses, he's still gaining confidence, but they're going to have to expand the way they approach it offensively. And Kellen Moore knows how to do that. He's been in some high-powered offenses.
You said so. You said something or alluded to it that I think is interesting. Like when you got to be able to finish. I mean, look, the average margin in an NFL game is like 3.5 points, right? I mean, it's like
right.
It's hard to win in the NFL. So I'm wondering, Sean, like maybe this is where I'd have to ask you about like the psychology of a locker room. Like, San Francisco is playing a backup quarterback, but that's a team that's used to winning football games. So in the final 4 minutes, when the Saints had 2 possessions, I don't think anybody on that San Francisco defense thought for a millisecond they were going to lose that game. Flip side of it is, I don't know that anybody on the Saints team, I mean, Sean, for all we thought of Peyton and Breeze, like, it's been 5 years. I mean, the Saints have missed the playoffs 4 straight years. Last time they made the playoffs was the COVID year. Like, nobody on this team, nobody on this team is used to winning. So, how much? I mean, take me inside of a locker room with the psychology of like expecting to win and building a. I know we throw in the cliche like a winning culture, but it's hard for me to dismiss that, man. When you have these opportunities late in game and you go 3 and out, and then you strip sack, fumble, and game over on 2 possessions in the final 4 minutes.
Been fortunate to be on really good teams that knew how to win and been on teams that weren't sure how. And they're both contagious. That's a fact, Matty. It just is. And I've spent a lot of time discussing the psychology of this, and I've been on teams, and I'm guilty of it. On a team. When you're a couple injuries, your team wasn't as good as you expected it to be, and then it's late, and you're standing on the sidelines waiting for your possession, and you're thinking to yourself, please don't let us find a way to lose this game. I'm just and anybody that tells you that, well, no, man, every time I go out, I know we're winning. No, Scotty Scheffler expects to win.
Yeah.
When you're playing against an opponent, they're hoping to beat you. I even heard one this weekend in a tournament say, "I just wish Scotty Scheffler wasn't here because it gives the world a better chance."
Yeah.
And they feel like when he's playing, well, you're playing for second place and damn near are. Yeah. But you are 100%. The culture in there, you're looking for reasons, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't care what anybody says, whether you call it karma in life or self-fulfilling. I've been on teams where it's been, and then there's the opposite. Okay, we're struggling. They will get a stop. And we will find a way. And I know it's cheesy because you can't just, it's not, I mean, you may play the Powerball numbers, but you don't get to win them unless you're fortunate enough to win them.
Right.
Same thing here. But you've got to put yourself in position to do it. And that goes with the practice week. Maddie, put it this way. If your culture is, or your thought process is, we'll turn it on game day, this is where we turn it around. You're late to the party. It's got to be that. Here's how the Texans, just to localize it here as well. Yeah. They're going through that. They don't know how to win right now. Yeah. And they're getting to a point. They've been inside the red zone with a chance to win 2 games and haven't got a stop with a great defense and can't close it out with an offense. So they're questioning themselves. Yet they've had back-to-back division titles. So you're right. And absolutely. And then at 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 veterans, man, we win here. Breeze is here. Kamara's here. Michael, those, and it's like, no. The option isn't hopefully we'll win. The option is give me the ball last. We're going to go win. And when you do it, I asked Elway this years ago, if I got a second to share this with you, Maddie.
Please, absolutely.
And I'll hurry. I asked him, John and I were at his golf event years ago, and we were sitting and having a beer. And I don't know if I've ever told you the story. And I literally asked him, and this isn't just the quarterback, but for him, because, Maddie, you remember it was at the time when he'd had like 40 comebacks, right? And here I am, I'm a quarterback, and John's my buddy, and he's always, I've been able to play against him twice and beat him, but I wasn't Elway. But I always said, well, John, what is it that you can be playing an average game statistically? And I said, I want to know why that when there's 1:30 to go and it's been one of those games, why do you always respond, you and your team? What is it? And I'm thinking I'm going to get a scientific answer. Well, Sean, we worked on this on Tuesday, and he said this, and it was this simple, man. And I'm telling you, damn near to the verbiage verbatim. He said, well, Sean, I remember it happened one time, and everybody's excited. And then it happened a second time. He goes, and the third time came around, we got in a huddle. They just expected it. We just expected that we were going to go down, including him. And I expected we're going to win. And I know that sounds so too easy, but he was talented players around him. But it got to the point where when they were on the sidelines, they weren't saying, please, I hope John pulls this off. They were on the sidelines saying, can't wait till John gets the ball and our offense pulls this off. And that was his simple explanation. I'm saying, John, that easy? I wish it was that easy for the rest of us, right? I was playing against him in Denver. I ended up being the player of the week. It's not a pat on the back, but I knew I was up against it. We came from behind. We're beating them in their building. And all of a sudden, they get the ball back with about 1:30 to go. And, Maddie, I'm telling you, he's driving down again. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm saying, you got to be kidding me. We came from behind. I'm getting to beat Elway in his own game in Denver. Don't let this happen. It was a snowstorm. It was crazy. It was a great game. And John's taking him down. And I said, no, not today. Not today. And I expected him against our great defense. We had Millard. We had Chris Dolman. Yeah. We had John Randall. We had 6 Hall of Famers. And goes down there. He's taking him down. They cross midfield. He throws a little option route to Glenn Milburn. One of our linebackers hits him, lays it on the ground. We recover. After I passed out on the sidelines, I got to go in and kneel down. But that's what they got. And the Saints are a ways away from getting that. But the culture is built by doing it, not by talking about it. And it starts on a practice field. Like I said, if you're on Saturday thinking about it and haven't worked on it Monday through Friday, you're in trouble. But when you get there, and then when it happens once and it happens twice. Last night, I'm telling you, when Baker Mayfield got the ball back, I said to myself, the Texans are in trouble.
Yep.
And he will, and it is. And then there's teams, and you look at it and say, they've gotten no shot right now. So whether they're thinking it or not, the practice it and play it, what happens is you have it like anything else, Matty. Anything you do or I do, you start doing it well and repeating it. The people around you say, well, he's going to get it done again. Hell, they expect great radio and great when you're on. They just do because they've seen it a million times. Same thing there. And they've got to get to that. But the only way they get to it is by winning those close ones and changing that narrative and shifting those paradigms as opposed to letting this keep happening. Because the more you keep losing close ones, the more it will build up, say, here we go again. It happens all the time.
Matt, could listen to you talk forever. We got to run. I appreciate
You're the only
you.
one, but thanks, brother.
That's a factual inaccuracy right there. Sean Salisbury, get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Hey, man, we'll do it again next week. Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on with you.
Thanks, man. We'll see you next week. Sean Salisbury, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate so much Sean giving us 30 minutes of his time every week, man. I always learn something. That's a powerful statement when you say, I listen to him, I always learn something. Hey, we're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. We had our marketing meeting over at the Parish office. Even still, it's been so long. I think there's probably still some people who don't know, but I'm always into candor and disclosure. And, I'm a partner at Parish. I'm an equity partner in Parish Construction and Roofing. So when I say, me and Terrio and Tilly and Joe Morales and our whole crew, talking about a company that I'm an owner in. So if we could ever help you, I'd love to. You can. People text me all the time on the show text line. Scone, I need a roof inspection. Yeah, text me. I'd be more than happy to facilitate setting that up. Or you can always just go to our website, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. We do residential, commercial, repairs, replacements. We do your gutters. We fabricate our own metal. We have a great soft wash crew as well. I mean, if you just got some grime on your roof, just getting that thing soft washed twice a year will help extend the life of your roof and beautify it and do the whole exterior of your home. Let us help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. I got a quick break. Otter will be here in about a dozen minutes for Otter Locks. We'll move quick. Went a little long with Sean, but it's great stuff. I don't mind that we did. Well, now I got a break, and we'll continue here on a Tuesday edition of AFR Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
Hey, man, many thanks again to Gordon McKernan, who hung out in studio with us yesterday for 30 minutes. You want to talk about learning something. This guy's built a gigantic business and then is still so kind and generous and philanthropic, not only with all the different ways through Gordon gives back to the communities. We tell you all the time, the holidays are coming. He'll do the bike giveaway. Around graduation season, always does the laptop giveaway. Just so many different ways that Gordon's give back to the community. My son plays Miracle League. It's a special needs baseball league. And, of course, you go and on the outfield wall, there's a Gordon sign. He sponsors that. I'm fortunate enough to MC the Down Syndrome Awareness Group, Buddy Walk, every spring. Gordon always has a tent and tables and giveaways as a sponsor over there. Just so community involved. Gordon, yes, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. They'll help you get what you deserve, but they give back to the community as well. That's why it's great to be partnered with them. So, tell you every day, go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling through our Tuesday edition of AFR. I realized I screwed something up, Muse. I think I screwed it up. Or maybe I just properly screwed it up. From Football Sunday.
Properly screwed it up.
So one of Andy Isco's plays on the website, Louisiana Sports Center, we gave the over last night's game. What?
I'll go on.
But I said on air yesterday the under, and I played the under.
Oh, no, I think you said the over because I played the over.
I played the under.
I think you just played the under by mistake, but you said the over because I missed Football Sunday.
Maybe I was looking at the website.
Yeah.
And I got it incorrect. Or maybe I just made a good error.
I think you just made a good error because I missed Football Sunday this week. So I didn't know Andy's play. And when you said the over, I went and bet it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is I might have mistakenly written the over on the website. And so when Jimmy was on, I was going through the picks. I was like, it says over. And because I made the play
on Sunday.
I think I just wrote the wrong thing on the website.
So this is your fault last night that I didn't hit the over.
Now, I'll tell you what, I'm also really ticked at Baker Mayfield and that Houston defense.
Me too.
Because I'd had a 3-1 night. I was staring down the barrel of a pretty good night last night. Instead, when it ended up being 2-2, the Phillies hit.
Phillies did
last
hit.
night.
Yep, had that.
Phillies otter, man.
Baseball otter this year, man. It's not over. But
a guy texted me on the text line earlier today. Is like, just me or is Otter just blowing it lately? I'm like, I think we're doing okay. I'm up. You up? We good?
It doesn't sound like that guy was up.
No.
I was say, it doesn't sound like that guy was
But the thing I'll tell you with Football Sunday is you just got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing where, there's 20 some odd or more than that plays on a Sunday. So there's things I look for, like if there's disagreement, like if these two different, I don't know what you do, but like if two people pick opposite sides, then I just abstain. If you have like 3 or 4 people that are all giving the same play, then I hammer that bet. And you just learn those sorts of things. But if you're consistent over the course of the year and you make all of their plays, you're going to win. I mean, they're consistently over a 17, now 18-week NFL season, they're up like 30, 40, 50 games over the course of the season over the last 3-4 years. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. You're just getting professional bettors. These do that. This is how they make their money. This is what they do professionally. And they're giving you their best bets for the week. Just giving them out on the air. It's a remarkable thing.
I mean, and also, like, it's been 2 weeks. Like, we're all still learning about these teams. Like, they're going to start hitting at a pretty impressive clip when they get a good sample size. You just, you have to be consistent.
You can't say, I'm gonna play some of them this week, and the next week I won't play. It's like time in the market. That's what they always say. You can't time the market. You got to be in the market all the time. You can't try to jump in. It's like double dutch. Eventually, you're gonna just jump in. You're gonna hit that rope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to get in, Muse. You can't keep jumping in, unless you're like a jump rope champion.
Then you could do that. Yeah.
Then you could do that. Yeah. Did we miss anything today? I feel like we're missing something today. LSU player interviews tonight. Yeah.
In 2 minutes.
I wonder if they're. I doubt they will. I wonder if they're going to let Garrett talk to reporters tonight. I hope they do. I'd be fascinated to know from him And he did not, by the way, Garrett did not speak to reporters after the game on Saturday. And I will be fascinated to hear from him what he's dealing with. This whole torso injury, it's just a little perplexing for me. Because we've heard about this thing now for weeks. I've asked about it, insisted it's a nothing. It's something that warranted mention, but it's not significant enough that he's on the injury report, meaning he's practicing fully. Brian Kelly saying it's not limiting their play call in any way, but the offense is scuffling. I look back to the play against Tech, the Berrien Brown interception, and that's the one where I would say, I think last Monday when we talked about that game, I said he could make that throw in his sleep 100 times out of 100. I mean, Berrien Brown was open by 5 yards down the left sideline, and Nuss underthrew him by 5 yards. I don't know.
You know, it's interesting because the one that sticks out really to me is the play against Clemson where he's rolling to the near side, contorts his body, throws back across, and hits Kyle Parker. It's like, man.
Oh, the Kyle Parker blow. Yeah.
If you had something that's really hampering you in your upper body to rotate that way and fire that fiercely back across your body, that's one of those things where, and maybe the adrenaline's just going there. I don't know, but it's one of those moments where it's feels like if your torso was really bothering you, that wouldn't have happened.
Are you managing to get ready for Saturday? You give it a go Saturday, and you spend the rest of the weekend around. That's why I would love for him to answer it. I don't know that we'll get he's not going to go the rest of the season without talking to the media, but I would be interested to see what he says. We'll see if he's out there. Usually they bring out 4 players to speak to reporters. That'll be tonight. Actually, right 5:45 is when it's scheduled. I wish I could go to player interviews. It's just they do it at 5:45 when I'm on air, and so I can never make it out there for this. But Hunt will be out there. Chris Marler will be out there, and we'll get you the latest from the LSU players who are meeting with the media right now. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. They get to buy and land. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Of course, I love telling you about First South Farm Credit, mostly because of how they deal with people. And it's been for more than 100 years. And I know my thought was, if I wanted to buy land, why wouldn't I just go to the bank or whoever my normal lender is? Well, because buying land is different than buying a home. It's just that whole process. So why not trust the people that have done one thing for more than 100 years? First South Farm Credit since 1916 has helped Louisianians buy land. That's what they do. So if you want to explore that rural lifestyle, maybe you live in New Orleans, but you want to work in New Orleans, live on the North Shore, you could have the rural lifestyle while working in the city. First South Farm Credit can help you do that. They got an office in Emmitt. So you're in Tangipahoa, you want to live there, they got an office there. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. That's FirstSouthLand.com. I did mention that earlier. We bypassed it because there was just a good conversation about what was going on with the LSU offensive line. Kellen Moore and the Saints are back on the practice field. Tuesday's the off day in the NFL, so they're back on the practice field Wednesday. We'll get the first injury report. Is this the week that Chase Young and Trevor Penning finally get out there? But they are going to hit the road for the first time. They got to go to Seattle, which is one of the toughest road environments in the NFL. It's something Kellen Moore talked about when he met with reporters.
Yeah, the speakers will be loud. Freddie will have those speakers nice and loud, and so we just got to invest some time into it and educate ourselves. We haven't had a ton of that. Our only road preseason game was in LA, and it was a preseason game. It was a pretty neutral crowd, and so it'll be a great opportunity for our guys to spend some time on it.
A neutral crowd, and it was LA, which is always a neutral crowd, or the visitors have a home crowd, especially if it's San Francisco playing there in a playoff game. All right, it's after further review. Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let's knock out our final break, come back. We'll get to Otter Locks. They're posted up right now at LouisianaSports.net if you want Otter Locks. Remember, you can always get those there around 3 o'clock Central Time. You get Otter Locks posted daily at LouisianaSports.net. But Jimmy will be with us to give us an MLB 5-pack. Let's go. We'll wrap up next on AFR.
AFR. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks. Hit it, Buse.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matt. Sorry about the football losers last night, but we did have a baseball winner, but still ended up 3-2 for Friday's college picks and 3-2 on football Sunday.
Let's go, man.
Had a chance for a big one, big 4 in 1 week, but the last drive had down to 4th and 10.
Damn Baker Mayfield. I'll tell you what, man. Hey,
He's
real
playing
quick.
Good ball, man. Playing good ball.
We got a couple of minutes, but I want to jump into tonight because I know one of your plays was the Cubs on the money line.
Right.
It's already 2-0. They've gotten the Skeens early here in the top of the first.
Yeah.
So we're not obviously going to be Cubs money line anymore. But is there any value with the Pirates plus 2.5 or a Pirates money line sprinkle at plus 202? Anything that's value in this game?
No. The reason this is the first time I picked against Skeens all year, and the reason is late in the season they have gone back to his limited pitch count.
Okay.
So I mean he's going like 5 innings. So but the lines are close to what they were for the game beforehand. So that's why. I mean, I was trying to keep it close. Now that they're up, the Cubs are hot. Also, they're playing for the playoffs. They're in the playoffs safely. They're trying to chase the Brewers for that division. They got some work to do. But no, I would not advise that right now.
Okay.
So Horton's really pitched well for the Cubs. But I did want to explain that. That's why I picked against Skeens for the first time this year. So didn't even count on getting 2 runs, that one. Also going with Detroit and Cleveland. Boy, the Cleveland pitcher that starts tonight. No score here, bottom of the first inning.
By the way, there's a DraftKings 33% profit boost right now on a baseball bet if you want to use that on any of these.
On anything?
On baseball, on MLB tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Use it.
And so, yeah.
1 minute remaining.
Dang, I know that's my fault. I got you caught up on the Cubs. It's my fault.
All right, Angels and Brewers. Brewers have been great. We've been better, but that line is way out of whack tonight. Peralta got rocked last time. He had been very tough. That's just too big of a price. Plus 222. You boost that one, you could be really in business on that one. Also later tonight, Miami, Yuri Perez. He's been outstanding against Freeland on the road. We're laying the 1.5, so we get plus money in that one. And
that was it. The Cubs was the 5th one. That's it. Guardians, White Sox, Angels, all on the money line. And Cubs were abstaining right now. And then Marlins on the run line 1.5.
Yeah, I didn't give it out the White Sox. So I'm glad you brought that up. So White Sox is 5 total plays. You get them at LouisianaSports.net.
Where are you tomorrow?
Snow Seafood Steak in Gonzales.
All right, Otter. Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right. That'll do it for us. Muse Pauly, thanks. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
Get on down the road. Remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. By the way, Otter is a Williamson Eye Center patient. A few years back, had that custom lens replacement. Look, I love my guy, but I used to laugh at him. You know, we'd go to SEC Media Days. We'd go to Bistro Nico in Atlanta. He'd order the coq au vin. It's a French restaurant. I was like, Otter, you got this. If you don't know, Otter's a total foodie, which is amazing. I love that about him. But, like, he's bringing me to a French restaurant in Atlanta, talk all the anyway. But he's sitting there with the glasses on the end of his nose, the flashlight on his phone to look at the menu. You know it, right? Maybe that's you. Not no more. Otter went to Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center, got his custom lens replacement. 7 years ago, went and had LASIK with Dr. Blake Williamson. Paulie had LASIK over at the Williamson Eye Center. No matter your age or your refractive issue, you want to get rid of the contacts and glasses forever?
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.